Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sea of Swords Forsaken, Episode 1. Lovely. We're excited to have you all here. We're thrilled to be streaming at twitch.tv/D&D and twitch.tv/Adventurers Wanted. So, new show, new players, new story. We are still playing D&D, though. For those who are unaware of what that is, we are rolling 20-sided dice. I can't find any of mine. There we go. 20-sided dice. And the people arrayed around me in this constellation of glory have character sheets which tell them what they can do after they roll 20-sided dice, or what they add to it or subtract from it. 20s and above are good. 1s and below, yep, they exist, are particularly bad. So feel free to boo and or cheer depending on how the game's going at the moment and how you feel.
Please don't boo us.
Well, people, I'm sure they're booing at home.
We will definitely
There will be some boo. There'll be some quiet
soul.
boo at home happening at some point, I am sure.
Me, just in the corner, boo.
Lovely. And while they play characters and have specific character sheets, I play the world. So I'll also be rolling dice to see how well the world reacts to what they do. I'm most notorious for playing a variety of NPCs and weather patterns, which will be quite prevalent in this sea-based campaign.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be really relevant. I'm scared.
Anyway, I'm Chris. I use he and they pronouns, and I am your game's dungeon master. And let's go around and meet our players, but not their characters yet. Hold your horses on that, and we'll meet them as part of the story. But starting on my left, correct? I'm looking at where I appear on the screen. Shamini, would you please? I invite you to give your name, your pronouns, and say maybe a little bit about you, maybe a little bit about what you're thinking about today in terms of the game.
Okay. So my name's Shamini. I use she/her pronouns, and it's all very nautical and piratical, and I'm mainly worrying about all the I've got a list of piratey phrases just in case like it all goes wrong, and I could just be like, "Avast!"
Oh my god! I look forward to this immensely. Just earmark a piratical phrase is coming. Just let us know. That'll be great. Emma.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm gender fluid, so I will define my pronouns if someone needs to use them. I am very excited about bringing Prosperous back. Yay!
Don't talk about your character.
It says right there.
I know, but let's give the air of suspense.
Secret.
The pretense of suspense.
It literally says right there. Everyone can read it.
Fine.
I will be playing the pretense of suspense.
Hello, pretense of suspense. Grace, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Grace. I use they, them pronouns. I will be playing the pretense of suspense. I won't. But I'm a leather worker and a digital artist is my main vibe.
I mean, if you've seen any of the character art for this wonderful stream, that's all Grace. That's all Grace.
It might be over there,
Yeah, you can see them on
somewhere.
the overlay. The character portraits will be on the overlay. Yeah, so you can check them out there. Yeah.
And that's. I'm keeping. No one has any idea who I'm playing, so.
No, it's true. It's not written below your name in really big letters.
No, it is.
Red, speaking of your name written below your name in really big letters.
Hi, I'm Red. I'll be using he and him today, and I am a performer and an artist, and I'm very excited to be on a new thing, and to be on the sea, and to be a pirate of some kind. It's very exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
I love you found the nose ring for today as well. Just found it.
Just been waiting for an opportunity.
Fantastic. And Niall, our newcomer.
Hey, my name's Niall. I use he, him. I'm an actor, a man of the world.
Wow.
I don't know what else to I've had to describe myself before. Yeah, just a big nerd that's real excited to be playing some more D&D. And, yeah, me and my friends play D&D all the time, so this is like, yeah, more D&D, baby.
Excellent, good. Thank you, Niall. Right, so some AOB before we kick off for the uninitiated. The stream will run for 3 hours, so that will be a break somewhere in the middle, about an hour and a half in. Everything is improvised, so we cannot say exactly where that break will be, but we can promise it will be between 5 and 10 minutes, or a lot shorter if we ramble on a bit. Good. We are delighted to have a number of wonderful sponsors helping us out today. Our first sponsor is Hero Forge. Hero Forge offer a fully customizable tabletop miniature service. They not only allow you to fully customize and make your minis online, which is absolutely brilliant, and we've done for all of the lovely character minis, which we'll be showcasing as soon as they arrive in the post. Nearly there. They also do a variety of different fantasy races. There's thousands of parts to choose from. The online service is fully 3D customizable, so you can see exactly where it's going to go. Kickstarter backers and subscribers get access to colour, which is also a great addition. It's actually printed in colour, so the minis come out fully fledged, which is really, really wonderful. And they keep adding new customization options. Recent additions in the past month or so, we've had a couple of new ones, but it was dragon heads, dragon wings, surgical scrubs of all things. So yes, a variety of really cool things to check out at heroforge.com. We're also sponsored by UltraPro. UltraPro are tabletop organisers of the highest variety, so if you're looking for character card wallets, character sheet wallets, dice boxes, the dice themselves, as well as some other wonderful paraphernalia, including this. Albert? Oh my god. Oh, every time it's just the most adorable thing ever. Look at it. It's got all tufty wings.
It's so dangerous.
That is a friend, indeed. We have one of these to give away in chat today. If you are joining us on the stream, join us in Twitch chat. Grace, if you want one, I can get you one. It's fine.
He's so cute.
Okay. But no, this one's not for you. This is for the people. Not this one as well. We have one that's been wrapped and not touched by hands. So in this COVID environment, not like we have COVID.
One is for the incinerator.
One is for the incinerator, exactly. Anyway, if you'd like to win an owlbear like this one, not this one, join us in the Twitch chat. Just say something, say hello. It doesn't matter what you say. As long as you have a UK address, you are eligible to win, and we will post one of these delightful little schnoos to you. And also check out all of their content at ultrapro.com. We also have a number of wonderful supporters who I would like to mention. D&D Beyond, who help us out with character sheets, the initiative trackers, everything to make the digital game run smoothly. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, there's a gold chest code next to Emma. There's down there it is. And that gold chest code will give you a free gold chest in Idle Champions, which I think is worth 20 gems, so it's quite a good deal. So do feel free to grab that and use it in Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. Level Up Dice, we're part of their Dicemancy program, so do check that out. That's all over our social media, and also Zavi.com, same deal. Look at our social media for competitions, more information about those supporters, links to purchasing some of the items that we use in the stream or are potentially even wearing in the stream, a variety of lovely things. That's mostly at Adventurers250 on Twitter or Adventurers Wanted on Facebook, Instagram, and other social media services. Finally, we play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. Our tables are trans-positive, and we both encourage and champion trans players, characters, and DMs in our streams. We aim to avoid misgendering. We do appreciate it does sometimes happen, and we have a policy on that, which you'll probably see us use throughout the stream in case it does come up. But if we miss anything, please feel free to let us know at any point. info@Adventurers Wanted, in the Twitch chat, or anywhere else. We are always open to being corrected. You will also say the DM and players potentially portraying characters that are of a different gender to their own. Lovely. We also have a selection of safety tools that we use as part of streaming, so you'll hear us referencing lines and veils as part of the game. There will have been a trigger warning sent out as part of the tweet announcement for what the show is, but you're welcome to check that in case you'd like to. We also all use pause cards. Oh, pause that. Beautiful.
What?
Thank you.
Red!
Man, you did
really
that
nice.
quick. That was a blank page earlier.
It was.
There is Grace's less crazy pause
Sitting here
cards.
like, yeah, I'm a digital artist.
You've been working.
But yes, you will see pause cards used in stream, and we frankly thoroughly recommend the use of pause cards and similar safety tools as part of games, especially over the internet, but generally speaking, the ability to play safely is extremely important. You'll see a link in Twitch chat to the TTRPG Safety Toolkit, which we thoroughly recommend you checking out and using as part of your games. Right, that's all of the AOB, I believe. So, without further ado, for the first time, the Sea of Swords Forsaken intro. It's a lovely winter's morning, cold. The eternal night of the Icewind Dale still reigns by Rime of the Frost Maiden, Wizards of the Coast. But we're not there. We're just south of there, on the small village of Fireshear, built into the side of a cliff, near an asteroid impact many thousands upon thousands of years ago. A city built entirely around the harvesting of the precious elements of said meteor, and the transport of those elements further south into the rest of the Sword Coast. There is a road from the small town of Hundlestone, buried deep inside the spine of the world mountain range that separates the Icewind Dale from the rest of the Sword Coast. And along that small road are walking two figures. Maybe walking, maybe riding, not quite sure yet. We'll work that one out in a minute. Prosperous, Milk. You have travelled from previous adventures and are now making your way further down south. And in the town of Hundlestone, the choice was made between an arduous trek through the spine of the world mountains to get down to nearby Luskan, or a potential shortcut, taking a way down a mountain pass to the village of Fireshear, and then hiring, chartering, finding a boat that may allow you to travel south faster and more efficiently. So as the two of you are making your way along this mountain pass, what does the camera sort of zoom in on as we see the two of you walking through this mountain trail, going out of the mountains into some quite thick, heavy tundra? The icy snowiness of the Icewind Dale, quite prevalent, but we're talking more like permafrost cracking under your feet and that sort of thing over internal nights. Probably the first time you've spent time in the sunshine in a couple of, months.
I mean, if you'll allow, Milk... if a warhorse could carry both of us, because Milk is relatively light.
I'd say so.
I imagine that we're both riding on Eloise.
Eloise the warhorse.
Eloise the warhorse.
Eloise the warhorse. Okay. Is Eloise enjoying being a warhorse? Because Eloise used to be an elk, as far as I recall.
Warhorses are slightly more hardy, so I imagine it's been a while since Eloise was last dismissed back to the Feywild.
Perfect. So, Prosperous Milk, you are riding back to... Well, not back to back. You're both on the horse. You are riding...
I don't think I'd force Milk to ride backwards. That would be particularly unfair.
You are riding through this mountain pass, this small mountain trail, and ahead of you can see the Sea of Swords.
Do you want a description of what we look like?
Yes, actually, of course.
Also, Eloise. I want to know what Eloise looks like.
That's a horse, Grace.
Invested in.
It was an elk last time I checked.
Do you want to go first, Red, or shall I?
Please, after you.
So Prosperous is a half-orc paladin of the farming goddess Shontea. Prosperous is about 6'5" tall, has blue skin, and is wearing a set of silvery plate mail, full plate mail, apart from the arm guards, which are a slightly different set of plate mail, and also slightly too small because they were made for a dwarf. So that's the kind of look. Also a green cloak, and also has on Prosperous's back a massive bone sword, which is quite like sort of jaggedy. It's not like a beautifully carved sword. It's like it's been hewn. It's also really, really fucking big. Yeah.
I believe this has been dubbed the Dino Sword.
It's
like anime style.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
yeah, it's really, it's like almost as big as Prosperous. And Eloise is really, really big warhorse, and is like kind of a dappled grey, so like darker down her head and to her like shoulders, and then she starts dappling out into sort of a paler grey.
And this horse is your found steed with the spell Find Steed, so completely like you're riding well. There's no question of like
telepathic communication.
Okay, good, lovely. And behind this gargantuan figure, somehow
there's also some
not
javelins.
clipping into, and also
that we don't know where they come from or where they go, but they're there.
What? I missed that.
Javelins.
Oh yeah, essential. Always there, always on hand.
And behind on this horse, and somehow not clipping into the massive sword in this anime design feature, Milk.
Milk is exhausted, so Milk is lying over the back of the horse.
Aww.
Oh my God. I don't know how long it was, how long we've been on the road, but
a couple of weeks at least. Yeah.
Okay, a couple of weeks in the snow. So Milk is a tiefling who is completely bleached white, sort of like acid white at the moment, and has 3 eye patches on his face where he used to have the eggs of an alien god, but he has successfully managed to remove them from his face and is feeling great about that. And he is wearing quite a lot of red chiffon and silk that's just kind of blowing in the wind and is completely inappropriate for the climate, but it's magical. And is in conversation with his pet space squid called Malinoe, to whom he is feeding chocolate at the moment with this and stuff. Yeah, like, isn't it amazing? I mean, it's amazing. You can like, oh my god, just have more. And she's kind of like wrapping herself around him and it's all very
Do you
chill.
think it's healthy for me to consume this item? I believe that pets who consume this item often die horribly.
I think we've been through enough, Mel. I honestly think you just need to live a little. Just indulge. Just enjoy the experience.
What is an upset stomach to the enjoyment of chocolate?
Absolutely. A little bit of vomit is worth it for the pleasure.
A little bit of vomit. Nice. Nice.
I feel as though we could almost break out into song at that point.
I mean, if you say that out loud, Milo will la 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 la. I am sorry, I am not musically gifted.
You say that, you just need to put a little bit more wind into it, Mel. Come on. Just try a note.
This is all telepathic, there is no wind. Is that a metaphor?
No, I mean, you have a beak in there somewhere, surely.
I do, but I do not speak through the beak, I'm speaking in your mind.
But I think it's perhaps time that you found your voice.
Oh, I see. The space squid goes...
Good try, hun. Have more chocolate.
Prosperous, you hear a meh behind you.
Did your squid just make a meh noise?
Yeah, I'm trying to get her to talk in the real world, but she's it's all new, you know. One step at a time.
Yeah, one small step at a time. I guess disgruntled noises are important.
Sure. I'm hoping eventually that we might start a little choir, but it's going to take work.
I mean, I'm always up for a sing, you know.
Good. Well, we were considering a song that we were titling A Little Bit of Vomit, but I think it needs work, to be fair.
I mean, as long as nobody throws up on top of Eloise, I'm on board with the throwing up. I don't know where the sentence is going.
Millinay just rolled a natural 1, and there's a kind of...
Oh. See, but didn't it taste lovely? Is that...
It's not tasting lovely now.
Was that a con save? I mean, technically, she gets +5 because she's...
Still a 1, Em.
But...
Still a 1. I can't. The first roll of the campaign was legit a 1. I can't help that. It just is what it is.
For a little bit of vomit. Worth it.
Right. Well, I guess we should maybe get there soon, so...
Yeah, I'm going to spell a space vomit fairly soon.
Sierra here is quite healing, so...
That's good.
I'm sure that'll help.
As you ride down towards Fireshear, the path just sort of... There's a cliff, quite a solid cliff face. You can tell it's a cliff because the land stops and then water's quite a long way below it.
It does tend to be how cliffs work.
As you ride towards the edge of this cliff, you can see that on your right, to the north, there is a very obvious crater. Now, it's clearly quite old, but it clearly damaged the cliffside, mountainside where it impacted, and there's these very deep cracks and rivulets and ravines that run down the side of this and clearly have shattered part of the cliff. But the cliff that you're riding towards appears to be relatively whole and stable. Quite a sort of odd look for this meteor impact.
You don't think that's where one of those nethery cities fell, do you?
God, I hope not another one. I mean, I know nothing about this area at all. I mean, do you?
I don't know. Have I been here before?
Roll me a history check.
Oh boy, this is going to go well.
Red, I'm going to just say that Milk definitely hasn't.
I rolled a natural 20.
There we go. First rolls are a 1 and a 20. That's good.
It's -1, so it's actually a 19.
A natural 20 for you is a 19. Good. You have been here before. Probably as part of your travels up. You may have travelled up by boat, we'll say, so you probably have some experience of boat travel around this area too. This part of the Sea of Swords, this part of the Sword Coast, is known as the Cold Run. It is basically quite inhospitable tundra that curves around the edge of the spine of the world. The mountains don't quite reach all the way to the water. And there's a couple of small towns around here. You're aware of Fireshire being the biggest one and the one people know of. There's also a smallish town called Orkney. This eventually curves around and goes up to the Sea of Moving Ice, which is above you at this point, to the north of you. The Sea of Moving Ice is basically quite solid ice-locked water, especially with this eternal cold that's going on at the moment with whatever's happening in the Icewind Dale, again, by Rime of the Frost Maiden. Inside that space, the Sea of Moving Ice, probably not moving so much right now as a sea of solid ice. There are lots of small islands around there, lots of other small villages and places people live. However, Fireshire is, despite being quite a small village, the sort of sea hub, the way in. Any other town you're aware of up here is either closed to outsiders or not that well habitated or has basically disappeared over time.
And was this crater caused by a falling netherese city?
No, this crater was caused by a meteor strike many, many thousands of years ago and is the main source of income for the town of Fireshire. They smelt the meteoric rock and it's how adamantine is made.
Okay. No, I don't think that this is another netherese city, but there is an island near here that was named after orcs' knees.
Your DM cries into their notes.
Particularly pronounced knees, those orcs? A lack of knees?
As you reach the edge of the cliff.
Okay. I look down at my own knee and I'm like, I don't think so.
As you reach the edge of the cliff and look down, the cliff itself is pockmarked, and as you look at it, it's pockmarked with what look like small windows, habitation. Prosperous, as you've been here before, I will give you that people live in the side of the cliff. The town is largely based around cliffside dwellings. And as you look further down, the very small beach at the bottom and extensive pier system at the end of it, there are quite a few houses around there. They look a bit like, bless you, they look a bit like igloos, but they're made entirely of stone. These squat hemisphere dome style buildings, and there's roughly 20 to 50 of them. There's not a lot of them. There are some larger ones that clear to be spaces where people store things like warehouses, that sort of thing, and there are a couple of ships in the harbour as well. None you recognise. Is
there a way to get down on horse?
Yes, the path goes inside the cliff. There's a sort of sideways path that goes into the rock, and there is a hewn rock path all the way down the inside of the cliff where you can get to some of the domiciles that face outwards from the inside, and you can get to some from the outside.
Oh, right.
Like a tunnel.
Yeah, there's like a tunnel going down the inside of the cliff, yes.
Mind your head, we're going inside the cliff.
Okay, I might take the scenic route, I think, and I'll hop down off the horse and just walk over the edge of the cliff.
Okay. As you walk over the edge of the cliff, you plummet 500 feet to your death. That was really quick.
Hey!
Are you casting levitate as you step over the edge of the cliff?
No, I can walk on vertical surfaces.
What?
Okay.
So I, at some point in his past, he had a run-in with some kind of alien ooze, which when he unfortunately died and was reconstituted out of this sticky ooze, and is quite gooey and a little bit, I think syrupy was the word we went with.
Syrupy was the word we went with, that is true. So you sort of slough over the edge of the cliff and sort of... Yeah.
Oh, why is it always this?
So you are sort of vertically, like, do your feet, like, is it just that you're slightly sticky, or do your feet sort of generally turn into a
like
morass?
Spider-Man-ish.
You're Spider-Manning.
I don't want to be too liquidy all the time, that's gross.
Okay. So you start Spider-Manning down the cliff, which is great. And Prosperous, you're taking the road. You know the road. It goes down the inside. And as you start heading down this path, you can see there are quite a few figures that are heading up the path. It's relatively early in the morning. They're heading towards the early morning shifts. Quite a few dwarves, quite a few dragonborn, quite a few humans. Prosperous, again, because you rolled so high on this, I'm going to give you this. The town has 3 leaders who form a ruling triumvirate that handle trade negotiations with representatives of other settlements. They are based on the 3 original merchant companies that allied once this meteor was found to do the excavating around it, and they also found access to silver veins and copper veins. So it's a very thriving mining community, and some of the members of that community are now passing by. Just give you a pleasant, friendly wave. Visitors
good morning as I go past everybody.
Yeah, there's some nods. People are generally quite friendly in Fireshire. A couple of grunting sort of I've got work to do people, but generally speaking, the vibe is relatively friendly as you head down the path.
Any other paladins of Shantae around?
Roll me a perception check.
Gonna roll a 1 now.
I mean, the answer is no, but I want to see what you roll.
I rolled a 2.
You can't see anyone.
That becomes a 6. But
You can't see anyone in the classic Paladin of Chauntea gear. You do see some armoured people, not many, and you don't recognise the symbology on their armour in any way, but there are armoured people moving around you. No one stops you. As you head down into this tunnel, it's quite wide, about 20 feet wide in places, 15 in others, and you do see some doorways and things heading off it, and the angle going down is relatively steep, about 30 degree angle, and it curves back and forth a
leaning
bit.
back on Eloise to counterbalance. Because armour is heavy. Well, not this armour. It's not super heavy, but...
Milk, as you Spider-Man down the outside of Fire Shear, are you trying to do this stealthily, or do you mind being seen?
Oh no, I don't mind being seen. I think I'm enjoying the sea air rushing up towards me, I think.
You hear a shout from below, and you see people from below. Like, there are domiciles into the outside of this, and there are some roads that will clearly go around the frontage of this cliff, and there's people pointing and shouting, and there's a little bit of it's confusion more than anything else. It's what on earth is going on, what is that person doing kind of thing.
I'll wave and offer friendly morning greetings, or whatever time of day it is.
It is morning, yeah. What friendly morning greeting? I love it. Right. As you wave and shout morning really loudly, roll me some kind of check to appear friendly and not threatening, which is the opposite of intimidation, but I don't know what that is. Persuasion maybe?
Yeah.
I'll take that. Yeah.
Straight charisma.
Or straight charisma.
Straight charisma.
Performance?
I mean, nothing about this game is straight, but sure.
21.
Sure. You wave a few times, and as you do, people there's a small child that just waves at you and is clearly like really excited to see someone Spider-Man down the side of the cliff. I think the child shouts, Are you a magic person?
Absolutely. Where's the bar?
I don't know. I'm 5 years old.
I will magic some flowers.
I don't know. Mummy turns to the figure next. Mummy, where's the bar? Looks at their child with some level of worry, looks at you with some level of, what are you doing to my child? Are the flowers delivered to the child as you sort of climb down?
Yeah. I'm just prestidigitating. They won't last long.
Oh, thank you. And the mum just gives you a look of, think you're wanting to be going further down the cliff?
I shall pass on. Are there anything open at this hour?
If there are, they'll be on the docks.
Thanks very much.
Okay. You skedaddle down the outside, and you're going down the inside.
Down the outside.
Down the outside. In Fire Shear proper, Fire Shear is largely very much a mining town. However, it is also a trade town. It is a town where ships come and go with some regularity. Therefore, it does have a number of pubs on the docks, and the docks are quite extensive. There's about 3 separate wooden docks that range out and have enough size in there to fit a full-sized galley if they wanted to. There are 2 or 3 pubs that are relatively renowned around Fire Shear. The Smelting Iron is widely regarded as the nicest and cleanest and best looked after pub in the area, and where most respectable people tend to go. In the middle, you've got the more like Weatherspoon style pub, which doesn't really have a name so much as the Fire Shear Inn, and tends to be used as more of like a boarding house, that sort of thing. And then there's the Drunken Snail. The Drunken Snail is the least salubrious of the pubs, and people who go there tend to go there for fights, dodgy dealings, more of the quiet, under-the-table stuff that Fire Shear does have its fair share of. It is generally accepted as being part of the community, and also money does flow back into the community from this, so people generally turn a blind eye to any sort of shady goings-on if it doesn't affect anyone else too much. Inside the Drunken Snail...
Saw that one coming.
Cal. You are sat at a sort of corner booth table, waiting for your contact. Would you have brought members of your crew with you, or is this very much a private affair for you?
Oh, if this is, this is business. I'll bring Fanric. Everyone's on shore leave. Everyone's in pubs. They're fine. No one needs looking after. I'll bring Fanric.
Okay. As you sat in this corner booth and someone walks over towards you, Fanric, can you describe what we see of Cal sat in this corner booth?
Yeah, so Cal is a lady with sort of like black hair and I'm going to say quite a piratey outfit. Not a pirate, and yet looks very piratey. Got a cool headband going on, got a little feather going on. The weapons are under the table. It's not. We're not flashing around weapons in the pub. Not here for trouble.
Probably wise.
She's got cool gold freckles. I just want to show off my freckles. I don't know if anyone can see, but she's got golden freckles.
Hang on. She has golden freckles. Not just you, Sharmini, have golden freckles today.
She has golden freckles.
Does she also place them on her skin, or is this something else?
No, they're just there.
They're just there.
What? It's magic. And yeah, just looking like quite relaxed, but like quite alert. There's two opposite things, aren't they? Yeah.
So alertly relaxed.
Yeah, chill,
Shoulders
but
down,
like,
eyes wide.
chill, but looking around, like keeping an eye. But
keeping an eye.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye. That's fun.
Yeah.
Roll. Do you want to be performatively like calm?
Yes.
Roll me a performance check.
Are you talking about Shamini or are you talking about Cal?
Oh, let's give up. Shamini couldn't do it. Cal.
That was an 8. Damn it.
There is a certain edginess to your movements and your eyes flitting around. You're aware the Drunken Snail can be a bit of bother, especially for people who look quite as piratical as you. But on the other hand, yeah, this is very much what happens. Fenric is walking over with 2 drinks. What would you have asked Fenric to buy you? It's first thing in the morning, but that doesn't mean anything.
I was going to say rum.
Rum. Start the day with rum. Definitely not a pirate, right?
Then we probably have lots of grog on the ship, so it might be bored of the grog.
Grog is literally just rum you put salt water in to extend it out. So yeah, just
It's Bloody Mary,
it's
man.
the morning.
Get a Bloody Mary.
if you ordered a Bloody Mary from the Drunken Snail, what you'll get is tomato juice. And it won't be tomato.
I'll get some grog because it's early and cheap.
Okay. Fenric walks back with 2 cups of grog and sets himself down. Right, so I guess we're waiting for the contact then.
It shouldn't be long.
All right.
Everyone enjoying themselves?
They're unloading the ship right now. We'll have freehold to take everything in.
Great.
How are you doing?
Doing just fine. Just want to be on our way again.
Look a little nervous, if you don't mind me saying.
She goes slightly, just like.
You do mind me saying? Don't never mind.
Shifts.
No, it's fine.
Shifts
Sorry, didn't
slightly,
mean to.
like,
Oh dear.
Trying to look less nervous.
Yeah, that's it. You're pulling it off.
Thanks.
Nice one, Captain.
We haven't
Fenric.
met this particular contact before, have we?
No. Fenric is Fenric is quite sort of broad, but it's more of a barrel than like a big guy. Fenric has a very warm personality, quite avuncular, and the outfit is all like draped. Like you're not quite sure of Fenric's size. Like there's a certain amount of like drapery over every single body part, so it does look a little bit like a walking mound of rugs and curtains and that sort of thing. Nice little moustache, goatee, very well kept, and big shock of browny hair, I think. As Fenric looks around and goes, there we go, and waves, a figure steps over. A Duergar, that's a grey dwarf. They tend to live under the ground, but also tend to work in mining colonies above the surface. Walks over. They've got a sort of little grey mohawk that's quite jagged and quite spiky. And as they walk over and slide on the table, they go, "Evening, everybody.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
How's everyone doing this fine day?"
Can we get you a drink of some sort?
Oh, it's a bit early for me. You are Cal Arnold, right?
That's right, Captain Arnold.
Captain Arnold. Fastidious.
Mischievous.
So, I've got some adamantine that needs moving, and I hear you're good at moving things.
Moving is one of our top skills. Moving
Right.
forward, sideways, in all the directions.
Stevens looks a little bit concerned, but right. Your reputation.
Occasionally backwards. Not usually.
For Stevens takes sort of shares a look with Fenric, kind of a. Is this usual? Like a kind of slightly weird. And Fenric sort of just backs you up. Very sort of like takes up a bit more space. Says, very well. That sounds like what we're looking for. Yeah. So a shipment of adamantine to go south to Waterdeep first, but it'll move on from there, and no questions asked. You all right with that?
Sounds perfect.
Lovely. Be 500 up front and 500 on completion.
How much?
500 up front.
What a good deal, Chris. Am I getting a good deal?
Roll me a money check. Doesn't exist. Roll me an insight check.
Wisdom?
Yeah.
Of some kind?
Oh, I can do insight.
You're very good at insight.
Yes. I'm not checking to 14.
14. Are you sure? Because I believe you can't roll under a certain insight score.
Counts. Well, it depends what I'm inciting, but I don't think they're. Well, I'm not trying to check whether they're lying. I can only. I've got really good insight if I'm trying to specifically check whether someone is lying.
I think this would count as that because this is a kind of lying by omission.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that case, what's the lowest you can roll? Because that's what this is.
15.
15. Looking at this figure, they clearly have a way about them that says trying to get a good deal. And also from your experience, this kind of journey, you could get up to double that price if there were no other ships available. And you don't know the situation in town. Although you did notice as you entered the harbour that there weren't many other ships of your kind of caliber in the harbour.
Okay. She will sort of look like slightly troubled and say, well, for that kind of price, there are some other jobs that I was thinking I might have to turn down if it's not quite worth our while.
Yeah, there were some other things we were talking about, weren't there, Captain? Those other deals that were coming up. Fenric's backing you up. Roll a deception check with advantage.
Oh, Fenric!
It's what you get for having a crew. Constant backup.
I love it. That was a 14 again.
With advantage?
Yeah. Not the strongest stuff.
Stop using this dice. Oh, I understand. All right. Well then, 750 up front, 750 on delivery.
Think maybe you could go a little higher just to make sure it gets there all right.
We do have to buy all those provisions, don't we, Captain? Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Fucking gem!
Thanks. I know, I'm just like, I want lots of money. Persuasion is, 15. It's all my rolls today.
It's fine. You have all the modifiers to make this work in your favour. Oh, supplies, I see what it's like. Well, maybe I can find a way to take it across land. Might be easier that way. Less expensive.
How much trouble are you expecting around this?
Well, it is a valuable commodity, I'm not going to lie. And if I told you it wasn't a little bit hot, I would be lying.
A little bit hot to who? Anyone we should be looking out for?
Ah, the Alliance, as always. The Lord's Alliance is an alliance of cities up and down the Sword Coast who tend to be kind of the police force of the Sword Coast. Now, their jurisdiction is in any of their cities specifically, but they tend to throw their weight around a bit about deciding how the entire Sword Coast should be run. And there's a number of independent cities, contractors, groups and organizations, including Fireshare, that aren't particularly friendly with them or happy about the way this tends to go.
Can I insight check how risky I think this is? Whether
Sure.
I think there's any sort of additional danger beyond the usual.
Yeah.
Well, you know what a little bit hot might mean. Natural 20 for 27.
Ooh.
I see.
You're discussing this quite openly in the pub, which means that there's not that kind of high level of scrutiny being cast over it. There's no one around that they're particularly worried about being taken up, this being dealt with. You get the sense, much like a lot of the deals in the Drunken Snail, Fireshare is probably completely aware of this going on, is probably absolutely fine with it, and if anything, are happy to turn a blind eye because the town will make more profit.
Yeah.
You're the Rebel Alliance, not a random ass pirate.
I think we could manage that for that price. That'll work for us. We're heading south anyway.
Marvelous
Got some passengers
news.
to drop off.
Lovely stuff. Well, in which case, that will nice to do business with you. I'll make sure that it's brought to your part of the dock.
Next time we're back up this way, I look forward to meeting you again.
That'd be great. Thank you. And they'll get up, give you a slight nod, like it's all very professional and very curt, and then saunter out the front of the pub.
Seems reasonable, huh?
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Should be an easy ride south.
Not expecting any kind of problems, are we?
No, I don't think so. I got a good feeling about this.
I'll check him. I'll check in when we get back, but I am slightly worried about provisions and money. Just FYI. Like, that'll probably get us some other way, but we're getting a bit tight on everything else. I'd have to talk to everyone else and find out what the actual numbers are, but if we could find some extra cash.
Put the word out. Anyone else need anything taken down? Anyone need taken down?
Right.
See what you can find around here.
I will. No problem.
Cheers.
I'll head back to the ship and give them all the word, and then I guess we'll see you when we see you.
Right. See you back.
Cal, if you stay there, Fenric's going to get up and leave the Drunken Snail and move out onto the docks. And on the docks, just literally outside the front of this one, you parked very well, is a ship. Is your ship. Would you like to describe your ship?
My ship's the best ship. The best.
Good. That's good description.
Beautiful and lovely. It's a three-masted sailing ship. It doesn't have any sort of fancy figurehead or anything. It's like kind of relatively plain. It hasn't got like fancy paintings. It doesn't necessarily look like anyone's sort of been massively attached to it and like wanting to make it nice. But I love it. And just from the top, all you can probably see on the very top is the wheel. At the back and a what's it called? It's like a giant arrow shooty thingy. It's a
ballista.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a ballista.
Well, yeah, definitely.
At the front.
Lovely. And what's the name carved into the side?
Oh, it's called the Bluebottle.
Lovely. The crew of the Bluebottle, your 25 or so sailors, are currently unloading the Bluebottle. As Fenric walks down the pier towards the boat and towards the gangplank, there's quite a lot of activity, lots of moving back and forth. Anton, would you be helping out if there was disembarkation going on?
Yeah. Making his way, paving his way through.
Okay, so you're doing some of the lifting and moving some boxes.
Yeah. Struggling mainly. Probably needs like somebody on the other side of him. But he's okay. Like for the smaller things he'll be alright with.
Roll me an
like,
athletics check. Let's see how it goes.
Well, take that. That is a straight 14.
Grand. Sorting's not bad. You're managing to do some lifting of some bigger boxes. And as you walk down the gangplank with one of these boxes, who do we see walking down the gangplank? What's the visual?
So Anton's a pretty young man for an adventurer. He's got nice little curtains with short back and sides, brown hair, olive skin, looks like Greek descendant, but wearing studded armor with quite like a yellowish tinge to it, and wrapped around his neck and his waist is a lovely blue sort of cloth and fabric. He's got a shield on his back and a sword at his side, and for all intents and purposes just looks like a general militia or mercenary.
As you walk down to the dock and place your crate, place it down in front and move back to get another one, Harlak, the bosun, the ship's bosun, who's generally in charge of handling a lot of the cargo and where it goes and fixing things around the ship, a Minotaur just standing there, arms crossed, watching you, just...
You all right, buddy?
She raises her shoulders slightly and just... And you've known her long enough to know that she's bored.
Well, I should, you could go inside the town for a bit. I'm sure we'll be fine. You don't have to watch us.
Need to do my job.
I mean, fair enough. That's fine with me. He gets back on with work. Just side-eyeing the Minotaur.
She's often like this. And she stays stood there as Fenric walks up to the gangplank. Fenric has quite a sort of almost like busybody quick walk, like it's got a bit of wiggle to it. And he's going to scuttle up towards the side and just nod at you, Anton, nod at Harlak and go, right, we've got some new cargo coming on, so get this off as quickly as you can, and there'll be some new ones coming along shortly. Flutter, I'm guessing you wouldn't necessarily be helping with the heavy lifting?
No. No, unfortunately not.
Where are you at this point? Are you on deck of the ship? Are you below deck?
How long have we been in dock for?
Probably not long. You probably arrived this morning.
Okay, I think maybe Flutter might be sat on a barrel nearby, and probably like has started sitting on one barrel, and then someone has come and gone like, I need to shit, and just sort of moved on to a different one, and it's been sort of slowly like moving from side to side. And
you're playing musical chairs with the cargo.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, and sitting as sort of absent-mindedly playing a flute, not very well, is sort of trying to like provide some ambiance to the space, but it's not great.
It's not great. Okay. Well, can you describe what Flutter looks like as you are perching and moving around?
Yeah, what the camera would see, moving from space to space, is quite a short, a 5'3", about, and very, very slight tabaxi, who has sort of like shaped a bit like a caracal, so they've got very long, pointed ears with little tufts at the ends that are very, very expressive and do a lot of movement, and orange fur. They're wearing like a short, cropped leather jacket that's blue and covered in sort of golden studs that sort of disperse the light in quite a strange way if you look at them, and like if you see them out of your peripheral vision, they're maybe not quite in the space where you think they are. And they're wearing high-waisted trousers with like almost a harness-like blue sheath for what looks like a rapier. On their left leg is amputated below the knee, and they have a sort of brass-coloured running blade that would be sort of like propped up quite rakishly on whatever barrel is nearest them. And just being generally fairly unhelpful.
Anton, as you walk back onto deck to help find more things, Flutter is sat on the cargo you're supposed to be moving, playing a flute really badly.
Yeah, good sound. He's very clearly lying.
Anton, you do not need to lie to me. No talent with the. Well, I'm trying my best. Are you going to ask me to move again?
After the third time, I thought you'd have just sort of sat on the side of the boat rather than all the cargo. But I'm not one to judge.
Look, if I can help if you want, but after the incident with the porcelain, I feel like no one really wants me to lift the boxes anymore.
I totally see what you're saying, but it's also more helpful if you keep trying rather than just giving up after the first time.
I can lift this one.
Yeah. I mean, just all you need to do is move it from one place to the other. Just don't drop it.
Oh, I can give it a go. I'm very helpful. I'm gonna squat down and lift the thing.
Can you roll me an athletics check to lift the thing?
Can I be ready to just catch whatever might fall?
You may give Grace advantage on the athletics check.
I didn't say that. I said.
Then we'll see what happens.
Ready
then we'll see what happens.
Falls. I don't want to presume that they can't do this. That they can get through this.
Yep.
I rolled a 19. It's a 19 because I have jack of all trades.
Nice.
Righto.
Instead of a -2.
Wow.
Flutter is not a big tabaxi, and Flutter is not a strong tabaxi. It's more that sort of wiriness. And as they reach down to pick up this crate, they do pick it up, and you do hear inside the kink, 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 kink of all of the different preserves. Glass bottles of preserve that you are currently picking up and holding. Is that the face, Anton? Is that the face?
Where is this one going?
Anton just points down to the dock
where all of the other crates are.
Yeah. Okay. Just gonna but.
He's then gonna pick up another crate and just follow behind tentatively.
No problem. You both pick up crates, and slowly, because Flutter takes their time, the two of you manage to move more crates down onto the dock. And as you see that there are more crates being added to the dock side. A lot of the sailors on board ship are, if not at the moment taking crates off, are now taking some crates on that appear to be being placed there by quite a lot of different people. You do recognize a couple of Durga, who are dwarves you don't tend to see on the surface very often. They don't like sunlight very much, but you do tend to see a few of them interspersed with this crew, often giving orders. But yes, there are quite a few people delivering what look like your next cargo to be brought back on, and Harlech does, standing at the back, just look at you both as you're there and go, if you're ready, you could... Gestures at the pile of other boxes that are being placed on the dock.
I'm very competent with these things, and I can lift anything, so I'm sure I will be able to. Please tell me, Chris, these are the ones with the adamantine in.
Of course they are, yeah. You do see the sailors tend to go over to a box and go... and then two of them just very carefully between them lift it, and it is heavy. These are heavy crates. They appear to be smaller than the other crates you've been transporting because, people aren't idiots. But these are chonky crates. Chonky crates.
Alec, surely you could lend it a hand. You are of great strength, from my understanding, and you'd be less bored if you helped speed up the process, and then his voice trails off because he's got a -1 charisma.
And also of great understanding from my strength. I've seen you lift all sorts of things if you put your mind to it. I would love to see you. I
could Yeah.
I'm just not sure that I am strong enough. I will try and try and try, but if only there was someone so big and strong and useful and helpful to
roll
Victor's fates.
I mean, Grace, it's up to you. You can roll a persuasion check that is Flutter trying to be persuasive, or you can roll a persuasion check to be slightly flirty. It is entirely up to you.
I think it's more persuasive. Like I like Harlak. There is something about Harlak that every time when Flutter sees him makes him smile. But I think it is more like.
Okay.
Married now, you know.
I caught the
You
vibe.
tied
Wanted
down.
to check. Just
That
wanted to
ball
check.
and
I caught the
chain.
vibe.
Yeah. No, don't worry. That's just me. Persuasion.
I think you have assistance from Anton there, which, even though Anton is a -1, D&D is what it is. You have advantage on
D&D is
this.
what it is. That's a 24, Chris.
Anton says, they mean you.
Harlak just okay, and walks over and just palms a single box and just like there is like this is harder than I thought it was going to be, and then takes another hand and picks it up and you were right, this is more fun. And just turns and starts walking up the gangplank. A slow walk. And she eventually moves to top, and you're all now moving these very, very heavy boxes up the gangplank.
Anton's just going to have a confused look on his face for the rest of this, thinking like, this is what they mean by fun?
Lovely. Milk, you will arrive at the bottom of the cliff faster than Prosperous will. As you arrive at the bottom of the cliff,
I go 60 feet around.
if you're riding full bore,
No, that's just
charge through
that's
the
just
tunnel.
normal speed.
Flying to either side.
That's just normal speed on a horse. That's not full speed.
Everyone,
That's just
like-
normal speed on a horse.
Flattening themselves
solid
against the wall.
canter.
Like,
Too fast.
That's not dashing. That's just normal riding speed on a horse.
give me an animal handling check.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
That is a 2.
I think
What do I hear?
However, I can communicate telepathically with Eloise, so
It's
I am
not that.
talking to her.
it's not that. It's that you start riding a bit faster and give Eloise, and then people around just and one of the figures in armor stops you with a excuse me, could you ride a bit slower in the tunnels, please? There's a lot of traffic, and we if you don't mind. Awful.
Eloise is a sentient creature. She's not going to ride over any of you.
I'm sorry.
Eloise is a sentient creature. She's not going to ride over any of you.
I'm aware that horses are sentient.
No, but Eloise is a fey creature. She's not going to ride over any of you.
I'm sorry, what? Look, could you please just slow down in the corridors if you don't mind?
Sure, I will wait till I'm out of sight and then go faster again. What?
Can you roll me? I know this is weird.
I've spent 2 weeks riding with Milk. Milk has been a bad influence on Prosperous.
oh no!
Yay!
Could you roll me a stealth check to gauge
can.
the time at which you need to ride off
I
faster
sure
or slower?
Can. That is a natural 20.
Okay, fine. You do go through, and people occasionally sort of get to the side of the tunnel as you canter through it, a little bit more pace than maybe would be required of this space. So you and Milk both arrive on the docks at the same time. And as described, there are a couple of ships in the harbour. There's a couple of houses, but they're quite spaced out. And these 3 very obvious pubs. One more of an inn.
I ride up to Milk like I've been having a really good time.
There you are. What did you find? Find anything fun?
Lots of people who really don't like horses.
Oh, maybe that's because they're coastal people.
Maybe they don't see a lot of horses.
Right.
I don't know.
It's because they're coastal people. This is the sickest, like, low-key burn.
What did you find?
Nothing so far. I've been looking for the bar and then I couldn't find them. But oh look, here's 3.
As you head inside, it's definitely grotty and grimy, but you also get a sense from it immediately as you walk in. This is a place where business is done. All of the booths are quite separated out and tend to be like those little mullioned window walls in between every single booth, and it's all very grimy and not very well looked after, but the seats are very clean.
Does anyone in here look like a ship's captain?
I mean, Sharmini described what Cal looks like. I mean...
My subtle look.
Look, there's someone over there doing pirate cosplay.
Yeah, there's someone in a corner booth just sitting by herself who very obviously looks like someone who has a nautical air about them. No role required.
What about her?
I don't think she'll have pancakes, Prosperous.
No, but she might have a ship.
Okay, good one.
Right, you do the drinks. I'll do the captain. That came out wrong. I said it wrong.
Let's see how things go, eh? Friends, we seek breakfast, and I'll head off to try and find breakfast.
The person behind the bar, just who's been polishing a glass, watching the two of you. You say, "Friends, just."
Personages? What honorific do you prefer? Hearty?
Look, this is a place for quiet discussion.
Oh, I see. Well, a little bit of exuberance is only my enthusiasm for your fine establishment. We are here in search of many things, but breakfast primarily. Do you have such things? Maybe pancakes? You know pancakes?
We have grog. I might be able to find you some biscuits.
Grog and briskets sounds fantastic. Milk will roll his eyes.
Right.
Sit at the bar.
Oh, very well then. And the figure sort of turns around looking at that eye roll and just turns around and starts... There's one barrel and tankards are taken and dipped in the barrel and placed on the side, and scrounging underneath the bar some, it's ship's biscuit. It's basically Rivita. Its hard tack is brought out and just slammed on the counter in front.
Oh, wow.
2
She wants to
silvers.
go to the pub.
2 silvers, please.
Gosh, how wonderful. And I will slide 2 silver pieces across the table.
It's customary to tip.
We'll taste one of the biscuits. Is it at all impressive?
No, it is the blandest shit you've ever tasted.
Isn't a hardtack meant to be eaten soaked? It's
like sawdust. Yeah, it's not great.
My tip would be maybe try making some salads. And I'll turn and take my little plate away with me.
I slide it
need to
into...
leave this pub.
I mean, we've described how Milk looks. This is basically the poshest bitch walking into a pub and going, "Hey, what have you got?" "Well, this isn't very good," and then going to sit in a corner.
Can I assume that hearing Milk and seeing Prosperous striding over...
I've sat opposite you during this conversation, because that took time.
Yeah. Can I assume that I can tell without an insight check that these folks are not from here?
I will give you that without an insight check, considering that your insight is so high at any given time. These people are not from round here.
I feel like they're not from round here, yeah.
Yeah, they probably came in on the road from Hundleston.
I'll look at Prosperous.
And Prosperous just literally, as Milk made a little noise and you turned around and looked at the bar, Prosperous just turned in and sat down opposite you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Prosperous.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Captain Cal Arnold.
Perfect. We're looking for a ship. Not a specific ship. That sounds really like we're looking for someone specific. We're not. We're looking for a ship that's going south to travel on. Do you take passengers?
We do on occasion.
Perfect. I'm Prosperous. I already said that. That's Milk over there.
Milk's just made the salad quip and everyone in the bar's like,
oh, calm down.
Where have you folks come from?
Milk has now joined the table.
That is a very long story, and one that we will have to go into in detail at another time. It involves killing a god.
I feel like you can find it on the YouTube channel.
Watch Icewind Dale Corrupted and find out what they got up to before this point. There we go.
I love that bard, YouTube. He's brilliant. Like, he does the best plays.
He does some real good stuff.
Killing a god, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Don't suppose you're trying to leave in a hurry, are you?
No, not in any rush.
Good. And I look at Milk. Is Malinaway there as well?
Always.
Yeah. Although she can be invisible, but she's not at the moment.
Oh, sorry, babe.
Yeah. Okay. I extend a hand to Milk as well.
Milk will shake your hand. Pleasure to meet you.
Syrupy, bit sticky.
Oh, sorry about that. It's the thing. Working on it. Don't worry about it. It's not contagious. I have sawdust, and they said it was grog. If you would like some prosperous,
Cheers.
I wouldn't if I were you, but
I mean, it's food.
well, you say that. They said that. I'm not sure it is.
I'm afraid, depending on how far south you're intended to travel, there ain't a lot more that you might get on the journey.
I mean, we're quite used to not eating a lot of food, so I'm sure we'll be fine.
Yeah. Big smile.
How fine does Milk look about that?
Milk magically makes himself look like he's got a big smile, but he's not really smiling, but he's hiding that.
Captain Cal Arnold, by the way.
Pleasure is all mine.
What did you say your name was?
Milk, they call me.
And I look at the floating squid.
This is Malinaway.
There. No one seems to be bothered by. It's floating. Squiddly.
She's a friend of ours. Mel, say hello. Say hello, Mel.
One of the tentacles floats up and does a little sort of wet wave.
We're trying to teach her to speak out loud, but it's so far
slow.
It's that.
Sounds like Wario.
So is she going to take us south, Prosperous? Are we going? Is it?
She does take passengers. She has not yet agreed.
She will. She's going to love us.
She already loves us. Look at her face.
What I mean, we're very useful people.
I'm particularly
Really?
good at protection. Milk is especially good at turning people into Tyrannosaurus Rexes.
Yes. Would you like to be a T-Rex?
Maybe not right now.
Would not be conducive to sailing, I feel.
Perhaps you have a point.
Cal, I will say this for your benefit. You have ferried adventurers before. You are aware of the type. These both exude it. It reeks off them. This kind of semi-entitled, I go through places, I do adventures, and then I take all their stuff and I go away again.
Hey, I have not taken anyone's stuff.
There is a certain, adventurous style. There's a look, and you recognize it from a mile off. These people are player characters.
For some reason, everyone has got really dull coloured hair, and they're just much more saturated than everyone else.
What it is that you tend to hear the same 5 voices over and over again from everyone you ever talk to, apart from these people who have very specific, famous voice actors. It's very weird.
Yeah. Our clothes are really detailed.
Yeah, exactly.
All that.
Someone spent more time in design on you.
We're thinking of heading off a little bit later on. We might be making a few stops along the way. Would that work for you?
Where are you?
Where
heading?
are you going?
We're heading south, various places, Waterdeep. Where are you hoping for?
We were thinking Luskan, but anywhere south is workable. We can then ride on, I suppose. Eloise will always be present, so...
You've both heard of Waterdeep. Waterdeep is the capital of the known world, arguably. Although Baldur's Gate would have some argument on that. But Waterdeep is basically this equivalent of London, everybody. Equivalent of
Luskan's
London.
quite nearby, isn't it? It's not so
Luskan's
far.
like Manchester, yeah. Luskan is quite nearby. You could easily stop off there if you wanted to. But honestly, Cal, you're not sure if you'd want to. Luskan is piratey as all hell, and not the good kind.
Damn.
I mean, Waterdeep works. We can always ride on. I don't suppose you have space for a horse.
We don't have a stable.
That's fine. I can always just dismiss her.
Exactly. You could fit a horse. You could theoretically fit a horse in one of our cabins, but it wouldn't be comfy.
I'll send her back to the Feywild. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Right.
So
That
we're
sounds
agreed
like that
then.
could work.
2 cabins, regular food and board, and for the pleasure of our company. Sounds like a marvelous deal, Captain.
How much do I want to charge them? How much is
I don't
money?
know,
What is
Charlie.
money? Oh God, money.
You were just given
Lots. They're
750.
adventurers. They're going to be bloody rich.
Exactly. You can see which way my mind
Look
is
at
going
them.
here.
Look at this.
I mean,
These
they couldn't be
people can
wreaking
afford
gap year more than if they
guns.
tried. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Prosperous is wearing solid mithril armor.
That's also true.
Like, oh my
However,
god.
looking at my character sheet, I have 5 gold. So this conversation's going to go well.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I'm going to try for it anyway. We do take passengers, but for our particularly wonderful facilities, there is a price.
Oh, how disappointing.
I know.
I thought we could do all of this just simply on goodwill, travelers on the road helping each other out. You didn't have to get all transactional.
It's a tragedy, but the world is dark.
I
Well,
don't
yes,
disagree with you.
that is definitely true. I can for sure help you out in a fight if necessary. I mean, I can also pay you 5 gold if you like.
5 gold is a pittance. It is 50 quid. It is nothing.
Yeah. I was thinking more in the range of 30 each.
That's going to be tricky because I don't actually have more than 5 gold.
How about I just cut off an arm and give it to you?
God.
Does it do anything special?
Well,
I will take
wouldn't
valuable
afterwards.
arms. Is there anything else you have other than arms?
I've got 5 javelins, which you're welcome to keep.
You're just looking at your equipment list, digging through the shit you don't need.
Yeah.
All right, good.
I have nothing. We are very, very skilled in all manner of useful arts. I'm sure you could put us to good use.
We did just kill a god.
that
Unfortunately,
is-
gods aren't very wealthy, so you don't get a lot of money for that. Just a lot of, building falling on you.
It's true, the loot drops in the last campaign were really, really rubbish.
Yeah.
Try making a deal with the devil.
Give me the opportunity.
Don't give Milk the opportunity. It may be always useful to have an extra pair of hands that are good with a sword. I just look at the
Yeah, it's a gigantic anime sword, yeah.
I'm
situation
sure
there.
I could kill a kraken if that was required. Prosperous is 100% certain they could kill a kraken if required.
Very optimistic that will not be necessary. I'm gonna have to go and look at our available accommodations for you. See how much space we can spare.
As this conversation is happening, Milk, in the back of your head, and this has started to happen more frequently now with your patron, you get an, oh, is this on?
Yeah, turn
Is
it
this
down.
on?
You've got the
Oh,
feedback.
sorry. Oh, there we go. Hello.
Hi.
Just a daily check-in.
Yes.
Need
I do look
anything?
forward to them. I'm good at the moment. I could do with some gold, I think, if you have
Oh,
any. Kick
Sure,
me
how
around
much?
today.
5, 15,
I'm-
5,000. Like, what's...
60. That sounds heavy. Like, just 60, I think, would
All
be
right.
just great.
Yeah, all right. No problem. In the middle of the table as you have this conversation, there's a weird sort of tearing rent in reality, and suddenly a bag just like lands in the center of the table, smoking with infernal sort of blaze, and it's not on fire, but it's definitely a sort of whiff of sulfuric energy around it.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. I didn't mean to keep doing that. Anyway, I wondered where I'd put that, but here you are. Did you say 30 gold each, Captain? Would
Am I still on? Hello?
Yeah, you're
Hello?
still here. Yeah.
Oh.
Is there more?
No, just it's customary to end a conversation.
I'm so sorry, darling. I'm so sorry. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to paying for this later.
I've not got anything at the moment, but I'll keep you updated.
I'm sure you will.
Anyway, toodly pip.
Ciao.
Cal, you've experienced all of that going on at the same time.
I assume this is not...
Was that a one-sided conversation or was that all telepathic?
Oh, that was out loud.
Oh, that was out loud.
Okay. I assume this is not the first time Milk's done this in the last 2 weeks.
No, you're quite used to it now.
I'm not. I'm unsurprised. I was like surprised by the 60 gold, but...
When you said useful skills, that is something.
Yes, it's quite a trick. It's a little bit haphazard. Don't get too used to it, but I will always see what I can do. See, as I said, remarkable people and a little puff of smoke. Whoosh! Milk and Prosperous, please help us.
And in return, we will help you.
That is the kind of help that we could be doing with.
Oh, you like a little bit of dirty lucre is good for you, is it? I see.
Consider yourselves passage booked.
Great. Which one is your ship?
Right outside the Bluebottle.
That's handy.
Small one. Looks marvelous and different. I love it. Sleek was the word I was looking for. Sleek.
We won't be heading off just yet, but I can show you around where to leave your stuff.
Perfect. I will have somewhere to put my javelins.
And your warhorse.
No, I will dismiss Eloise.
Well, you haven't done it yet, but yeah. As the three of you come to an arrangement and head out of the pub, you are making your way back down the dock towards the ship, where you can see the adamantine is being loaded. Cal, everything's going the way it should be. Harlek is doing some of the lifting. There's a slight bit of you like... The whole point is Harlek doesn't do the lifting, is that she tells other people where to put things, because that's her job. But you also know that Harlek she's huge, and this is all relatively new to her, so there is a certain amount of trying to find her feet and working out how she wants to handle this and how she wants to do her job. Fenric is also directing people, advising, and you can see that Anton and Flutter are doing some of the lifting as well. Flutter struggling slightly more than Anton at average rolls, but yeah. Everyone is helping with the dismissing and replacing of the cargo at this point as you walk up with Prosperous and Milk.
Fenric.
Yes. Hello.
We have some esteemed guests.
Oh, good. I was. Oh, hello. Looking at the two
Milk.
of you. Right.
Prosperous. And what did you say the squid and the horse were called?
Oh, this is Eloise, but I pat Eloise and then puff her back into the Feywild.
Whoa.
Probably for the best.
Melinaway.
And Melinaway.
Wah.
It's not getting better, Milk. It's just not...
I'll work on it, I promise.
Look, I took the note. It became less of a sort of angry noise and more of a Wario noise, so that's what we're guessing now. Although, if I'm correct, Wario would be more wah, and that's more Waluigi. So it's more
Waluigi,
wah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's Waluigi. Wah.
This Melinaway here ain't gonna cause any danger for anyone, right?
Why would you think
Poison
so?
or anything, you know?
Oh, no, she's totally harmless. She's friendly. Like, look, say hello, Melinaway. And it she'll sort of like creep through the air towards you and extend like a hesitant tentacle.
We'll sort of land on you.
Sure. Okay.
Land on you.
Right.
See? She's
Right.
quite cold and a bit slimy, but she's
I can see that and
very
feel
friendly.
that.
Wah.
I'm sure
now
we'll
makes that
all
noise.
get along splendidly.
Oh, I love it. I don't know why now sounds like Waluigi. It's just a thing we've done now. Good, right? Wow.
Okay.
Right, so the five of you are together putting things on board ship. Cal, you wouldn't take part in lifting. That's not something you would do. But if you head on board ship, you can show Prosperous and Milk around. You could ask them to assist with the lifting if you wanted to. What's everyone doing?
I will take them for a little tour, maybe.
Okay.
Show them some cabins. We've only got I think some like plenty enough cabins for extra guests. I will just give Anton a little like not bad as I walk past.
Okay.
Approving.
Anton's still distracted by the thought of the Minotaur having fun lifting boxes, and just sort of goes, "Oh, sorry."
And Flutter is also helping, which you wouldn't have expected necessarily, Kat.
I'm working on my upper body strength. I'm doing quite well.
How's that going for you?
Fantastically.
Give me a little.
A little noodle arm.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. We'll make a sailor out of you yet.
Well, I've done a little in my time. We have new guests.
Indeed. Milk, Prosperous, Malinaway. They're friendly, apparently.
Right.
Enchanté.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. I am Flutter of Wings. It is a pleasure to meet you.
And you as well.
If you were interested in... sorry, Karen.
Have I ever seen anything in my life that looks like Malinaway?
No. I mean, you've seen squids and octopuses, but it's this one floats and has
It's got
red
some
and gold
Eldritch
filigree.
symbols?
Yeah, red and gold filigree all over it, and definitely. I mean, Flutter, you're smart enough for this. Probably some kind of familiar.
I see. Adventurers. No, that's not what Flutter said.
Le gap year.
This is my life. This is not a gap year.
Sorry to hear that.
If you were thinking about Waterdeep, I believe that Flutter Wings could maybe give you a little bit of the lowdown on the city.
Are there many farms?
No, I mean, outside the city, there is quite a lot of farming to feed the city itself, but
Perfect.
it's a city. If you are looking for farms in particular, perhaps elsewhere.
Well, I'll just go to the farms outside the city. That's ideal. That's great.
You do not look like a farmer, if you excuse me making assumptions.
Oh no, well I grew up farming and now I just look after farmers, so that's my job. Well, apart from when I'm killing gods. I suppose that's now my job.
Anton's head perks up at that, like he's actually listening to the conversation now. Like.
Part-time looking after farmers, part-time killing gods.
Right?
Full-time job.
Killing a god.
Yes, we killed a god. Prosperous keeps bringing it up. You know, like it's news.
What
Can I
kind of god?
insight
It
this?
is news. It was only 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you can roll an insight check, Anton. That's perfectly fine.
Luke, that's not good. I won't believe whatever you were saying. Yeah, so it's just a 6.
I think on a 6, because this is actually true, there's a certain amount of disbelief. Like, a part of you goes, these people look like pretty... It's like, sure, you killed a god, okay, god.
Probably like a big owl bear. with a small culms or something.
So, where did you kill this said god?
In an ancient Netherese city buried under the ice.
Which one?
Which specific city? Oh,
I did know its name.
Sundra? Sunithra?
No, it's not.
Synaxtra? Synterax?
Sure you did.
This is all
sure
happening.
you did.
I mean, you'd have to ask Ashra Beckett. She'd know. She'd remember the name.
She'd have written it down.
She probably wrote
But
it down somewhere.
conveniently not here.
Yes, conveniently. You, who are you? Who might this whole thing be?
My name's Anton. I'm a researcher, and funnily enough, I specialise in Netherese cities.
You would have really enjoyed it. You'd probably really enjoy Ashra Beckett as well.
I think she's taken at the moment, but
Yeah.
Oh no! Anton blushes. He's like, that's fine. That's fine.
well, trust me, up close, they're a lot less fun than you might imagine. Netherese cities, I mean, not lesbians.
Anton, roll me a history check.
I think that's an 18.
The name Ashra Beckett rings a bell to you. She was a member of the
Do I
Arcane
know why?
Brotherhood. Yeah, she was a member of the Arcane Brotherhood. And you are, ostensibly, a member of the Arcane Brotherhood too.
What's the name again? Astra Beckett.
Beckett. Ashra.
Ashra.
All I'm saying is people who kill gods for fun, Netherese people, who kill gods of magic, are not great and don't make good cities, and you shouldn't go there.
Well, in all fairness, they built one of the best magical devices that could make floating cities, so I'll have to disagree somewhat with what you're saying.
Yeah, but then all the cities crashed, as we found evidence for in a crash
that
city.
was because that was because of a certain event, but that's not important.
Was that event that they killed the god of magic?
Is that Harlock?
Harlock behind the four of you just standing. This Minotaur is huge, and she stands a good head above Prosperous, but head and shoulders above everyone else.
Do you want us to get back on with work?
Yeah. Cal, are you taking Milk around the boat?
I guess so. You can fill your friend in later.
What's this bit called?
It's a foredeck. I don't know. Wait, let me check.
I thought it was a mast.
No, it's not. It's a forecastle. And then there's a quarter deck. I've got a small map here. No, Cal knows all the things. It's fine.
As you show Milk around the ship and introduce Milk to some of the other crew who we need to meet before we take off, that's where we're going to pick up after our break.
Ready.
So, I know.
Squads all together.
So, join us in about 5-10 minutes when we'll pick up again on Sea of Swords Forsaken, Episode 1. Bye, everybody.
See you in a sec.
And welcome back to the second half, everybody. How's everyone doing? Hope you had a lovely break. So, in the first half, we met our characters, met some of the crew of the Bluebottle, and the Bluebottle is currently being stocked with definitely not smuggled cargo. Captain Arnold.
Fine.
Yeah. So, Cal, you were going to show Prosperous has decided to help with bringing the smuggled cargo on board.
Cal is quietly because someone's gonna have to pay them to do that. Very, very improving. Very Prosperous to do that. Very
excellent. Very good. So you were taking Milk around the rest of the ship.
Yeah.
Anywhere in particular you want to show Milk, or anything in particular you want to give Milk the 411 on? Is that a turn of phrase? The 411, the 401, 5?
I've just done it now, so.
You've made it a phrase.
I mean, I'm not English, so I keep doing this.
No, not particular. I feel like for everyone's benefit, the ship has three decks plus the hold, and two risen bits at the top. You get nice cabins to yourself, which is nice. on the lower deck. The captain's cabin and like officers' cabins are on the main deck, and the crew is sometimes like are either sharing or like in the hold among the cargo on sleeping mats and things. And then we've got there's like a couple of weapons, but they don't look anything fancy, like the ballista and also a mangonel.
What's a mangonel?
For the benefit of those who don't know what a mangonel is.
Like a catapult for those big stones quite far.
Cool.
And the wheel at the rear of the ship is like a traditional. It's like a traditional like wooden wheel, but one of the spokes on the inside is missing. So there's only sort of 7 spokes going around it, and there's a crow's nest and some rigging. That's why I mentioned it. It's a detail.
Ooh, how curious. What's in the boxes, Captain?
What's in the box?
They seem very heavy.
We take a variety of cargo to a variety of places. Of course, respecting at all times the privacy of our customers. And you can also appreciate that privacy while you're on board.
Anything you say, Captain. Wow, I love it. Oh, how long is it? Roughly, like just how big?
Oh right, yeah. And it's like 100 feet long and 20 feet wide. The whole thing.
Cool. I think
that
it's
specific
gorgeous.
means there's probably not going to be any combat on the ship, right?
And she has hit points and a speed, strength.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're showing Milk the ship. In doing so, Milk, you do encounter some of the other members of the crew.
I will introduce myself to the first one. What is the first one's name?
There is a kitchen below decks, and there is an orc chef who is just cooking away. There's not a huge amount of like things on the stove and stuff like that. It's mostly like baking a ton of this hardtack and making sure that it's available for everyone to use. And a lot of like, there's lots of like teas being made and that sort of thing. But you also notice as you walk into the kitchen, there's a lot of like sort of things on the wall, like stuff in jellied things in jars, and what looks a little bit like a sort of medical experimentation going on as well. It's a bit odd.
What would I see that makes me think it's medical experimentation?
Well, things like a sort of a newt floating in water. It's clearly sort of being seeped in the newt. There's like a jar with a couple of leeches in it that are still swimming around, clearly quite happy. And this is the kitchen.
Okay. I will introduce. Hello.
Hello.
What is it?
You one of the new crew members, are you? Well, it's exciting.
I don't know that I'd go that far. Honored guest, I think, is the title I'll be using.
Righto. I'm Gaul. I'm the chef, and you'll be experiencing all of my lovely experimentation sooner rather than later, I should think.
I've already explained, Goral, to our passenger here that it will be only grog and ship's biscuits.
But you've got to let me keep trying things out, Captain. The whole point is that I can experiment with all of the new things that we find as we go on our travels. Like over here, we've got newt stew. I'm just working on that one. That'll be very nice. Ooh. And the smells are. Milk, do you want to roll me a Constitution check?
Yeah, I absolutely do. That's a check, not a saving throw.
Correct. You haven't tried it yet.
That's a 9.
The smell is pungent and aromatic, and you reckon would probably like taste interesting. Interesting is the key word you get from this cook. Interesting.
Oh, any chance of a taste? That smells interesting.
Please help yourself. Captain, we've got a live one. Dip your finger if you like.
Is it hot? I don't know.
Is that very hygienic?
Yeah, I'm slightly syrupy. I'm not sure I want to, drip it.
Just become part of the stew.
Usually it takes longer into the journey for people to start trying.
There will be sort of ladles and things you're welcome to grab one and
I will have a little...
Con saving throw.
That's a 10.
Okay.
Milk, have you not learned not to eat things?
Seems unlikely this will be an alien creature.
Unlikely.
The taste is strong, and you realise that it's got a kick to it. Not necessarily spice, just pungency and like like gonna sit in your mouth for quite some time.
I always say a little bit of vomit is worth the pleasure. So that's really just gone down and come right back up again.
What you do get from this is, you've got to roll a con save to take it, but if you rolled high on the con save, it might give you extra bonuses.
But flavoursome. What's that right at the back? Like after the spice, there's a kind of
sea urchin, I think. I'm not sure.
Good. Well, I look forward to more of that.
Oh, thank you. Very kind. Maybe we'll all... I do a captain's dinner in the evening, so maybe you could be part of that as an honoured guest.
I'm sure I'll be sitting right on the right-hand side of the captain. Isn't that right, Captain?
If you would like, dinner doesn't sound like a bad idea. We'll give you a chance to flex those creative muscles.
I'll get everything ready, Captain. Thank you.
It's gonna be interesting.
Interesting is the right word. Yep.
Usually it's like telling Gaul to like make more normal food, but now I'm just like, yeah, Gaul, go for it. This could be a terrible plan, but I love it.
Kill them all. Good, right. You also meet the ship's surgeon, an elf called Elphaean. His part of the ship, Elshayan, sorry. His part of the ship looks remarkably similar to the kitchen. Again, lots of like strange bottles and barrels and jars and what looks like things floating in them. And his response is more of a, oh, hello. Are you new?
Yes, just stepped on board just this minute.
Medicine check rolled. Interesting.
Are you looking at... yeah, I'll just flip one of the eye patches up and reveal the hole that goes on forever.
Walks over, gets a note.
Pretending she's not looking.
Yeah, it's...
You see, I'm quite a curator of these things. And it's just going to start taking notes on you.
Absolutely. What's your experience? Where do you hail from?
Oh, I'm the ship's doctor, although I'm more interested in cataloguing than I am in curing, really.
Well, that's good to know if a crisis comes up. Captain, where did you find this one?
We all hail from all over the place on this ship, you'll find.
Good.
Everyone has their job, though.
Trusty pair of hands? Are you good? Are you professionally trained, medical experience, or...
Oh, I am a medical practitioner, yes.
Shane knows what they're doing. Don't worry.
Okay, I mean, we're all in your very capable hands, I'm sure.
Yes, you are.
Stop it, you're making me uncomfortable.
And they will keep sort of looking into your very soul every time. They've noticed something about you is medically interesting, and they're therefore going to look at it.
Okay, fair enough.
And if you head back up to the top deck, on the top deck of the ship, towards the back, on the... where the wheel is on the stern.
Quarterdeck. It's a quarterdeck.
On the quarterdeck, thank you. Yeah. On the back, on the quarterdeck, there is also a large ship's table on which there are numerous maps and things of like where to go. And the quartermaster is also on said deck, and who, if you meet, turns around and smiles. Something about them is a little unnerving. You can't quite grasp hold of what it is about them that's unnerving, but there's a strange... Their neck has a slightly greyish tinge to it. You can see what look like gills hidden by the collar, and their teeth are very, very, very sharp.
Huh.
Stefan, this is Milk, one of our new passengers.
Hi, pleased to meet you.
Pleasure is all mine.
Great to have new people on board. We've got exciting things to do and places to go, so always nice to have more people for the experience. Really big, toothy smile.
Oh gosh, that's carnivorous. Are we a big vegetarian, vegan diet?
No, you'll get to see at some point. But I'm part shark.
Gosh, which parts?
Don't jump off the edge again just yet. Thank you.
We'll save it for a rainy day, shall we? Yes,
yeah.
Of course. Good. Right. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've got charting, maps. Captain, any note on where we're going?
We will be heading south. We got some folk and cargo to drop off in Waterdeep, but I'm sure we'll be
Righto.
making plenty of stops along the way, seeing what else is going on.
Fine. I'll get on board that right away. Big grin again and just starts making notes again.
Good work.
If everyone else is happy to pack the crates, and if you're all happy to help the ship get underway as quickly as possible, we can skip forward in time, if everyone's okay with that, to dinner in the evening. Everyone's on board.
I wanted to make sure the crew had a couple of hours in the afternoon to drink and have a little.
Sure.
'Cause otherwise, they don't have a break at all.
Definitely. Well, you do give people a rest and a chance to take a bit of time off, but by the evening, everyone is getting back on board ship. You're ready to head off, and if you're all right with it, we can time skip to a point where you're all having dinner together. The ship has just set sail from Fireshire. It's maybe a couple hours out, and it is now dinner time, and you get the sense, those of you that travelled before know that travelling through the night is no problem, because the ship can effectively sail itself so long as it's going in a straight line, and if the crew are needed, it's normally bells rung, people come up, and people can do things in about a 5-10 minute shift before they can go back to bed again. So there is occasional getting up in the night, but generally speaking, the ship does run a very smooth operation. Fenric's in charge of all of this and seems to have quite a good head for organising people.
We've got a nice room next to the captain's quarters. It's not that nice. It's got a table and some chairs and some like slightly old boards in the corner. But it's the only sort of sensible place for dinner.
Well, it's been a tight squeeze already, having the entire officer corps and Anton and Flutter there. Adding in 2 more chairs has made it an even tighter squeeze. So it is like it's rubbing shoulder and shoulder with people as you're all squished into this room. There's an empty chair left for Gaul, who does head up with various pots and broths and stews, and everything has that, as described before, interesting quality. The kind of thing, like there's snails, but they appear some of them to still be alive. There's a bowl of this stew that Milk tried earlier that every now and again something bops to the surface and then bloop, goes back down again. Like you swear you see an eye just bloop, bloop, go up and down again inside it. Anton, Flutter, you are used to this, and you know full well that you might be the kind of person who goes, oh, exciting, I'll experiment, or you might be going, I'll stick to the hardtack. And it's up to you. There's no faux pas in doing it. Gaul is very aware that not everything he makes is to everyone's tastes.
I look at the newcomers and I just turn to them and say, in for the gravy.
Always willing to try new food. Chontea provides. Although this doesn't look farmed.
I don't suppose Shantae has provided much of this in this instance. We gather a lot of seafood.
Well, Chontea also provides the sea, so anything that you farm. So I suppose if you're farming the sea, that's still farming.
Really? Well, thank you, Shantae, for this blessed meal then, I suppose.
I would recommend the one where you see the occasional eyeball. Flutter is going to very enthusiastically load up their plate and carefully prestidigitate each different thing so that it tastes
cheating.
Better.
That's cheating.
Anton will be doing the same.
And like begins to eat with great gusto while carefully watching everyone.
You still have to make the con saves like everyone else does. So
do
Flutter,
I have any help because it doesn't taste disgusting?
No. Flutter, Anton, you have your con saves made because you've both described yourselves chowing down.
Shit.
I eat everything.
Okay, con save from you as well.
I'm also in.
Prosperous doesn't happen
me too.
to create any aura
Auras.
thing as we're all sharing a table.
I will say that Prosperous is
well,
aura.
hang on.
Oh.
I choose who my allies are.
Oh, I see.
At the moment, it's currently Milk.
That's fair.
Fair.
I like that.
I rolled a 6.
Mine is 24.
Okay.
Milk, you
Is
get
it
a
plus 5,
Yeah.
Prosperous? Amazing.
What'd you get?
That's a 12.
12.
Okay. And dirty 20.
Dirty
dirty
20.
22.
Dirty 22.
Dirty.
Well, obviously dirty.
Mine's a 12 as well.
12 as well. Cal, you're fine. You know you're not getting the full benefit of this. Something about it's not sitting right with you today. Maybe it's the addition of the sea urchin, which is new. But Flutter, you, despite prestidigitating, do have that kind of... Gonna regret this in the morning. Like it's that.
The taste is fine, but then it sits in the stomach and just like...
Yeah, it's not a happy one. Not a happy one. Anton, you as well are just you're keeping it down, but it's fine. Prosperous Milk, the two of you chow down on this, and there's something about it that it clicks with your flavor palette. It works for you. This sense of
Is it that we haven't eaten for proper food for a while?
I'm gonna say that's it. You're just hungry. But something about the slight, squirminess of it, the fact that it's still moving in places. Something about the very strong, pungent flavors that all sort of clash with each other. Actually, you start to find that middle ground. That like, there's something about this, and you have advantage on ability checks for the next hour.
Great.
Just feel like enlightened and like something about it is just like something about it has just like sparked in you. It has sparked joy.
Emma hated
It's like when you eat
everything
a
about that
really hot
description.
chili, like you get into a sense of where like time and space no longer becomes,
Killing you.
you're no longer bound
That's
by those
true.
limitations.
I think a lot of these sea creatures are poisonous. Like, I think that's what's actually
Yes,
going on
yes.
here. Like,
Sea urchins are poisonous.
Load of
mind-altering
LSD in the
substances are
soup.
going on, yeah.
It's that random moment in the film where there's a strange, like, druggy dream sequence for 30 seconds. It has no bearing on the rest of the plot in any way, shape, or form. It just happened.
Somebody
I
climbs
actually-
into a toilet.
Find this quite pleasant. Once you get past the wriggling, it's quite enjoyable.
Well, you're very
I
kind.
like the
thank you.
wriggling.
Stefan next to you is just chowing away and eating, and just it is good, isn't it? It's lovely. I love all the different flavors. They really come to me. I like them. They're great.
Was the chef's name Goal?
Gall, Gorl.
Excellent job, Goal.
Well, you're very kind. Thank you. I do take pride in my work, and nice to see people who have an open mind. Open mind is good. I like an open mind.
If you open your mind too much, your brain will fall out.
That's true, but experience has taught me that there's always a way to scoop it back in, and that's
You get a
the real
little
lesson.
from Elshane next to you. There's a yes. Scoop.
So forgive me, but you two don't seem as much the sailor as perhaps some of the others on board. I don't know if that's unfair. I don't want to be rude in any way. Are you new to the ship's life, or am I just off the mark?
Well, no, you are guests on the ship. You have paid your way. We are, perhaps less Anton. You have been here a little longer than I have, but we are guests traveling, heading up and down the coast.
Yeah, I've been about here about a year now,
Oh right. Oh gosh.
I think. Maybe longer. Looks at Cal. How long?
I've lost track. It's been such a joy.
Oh,
Don't worry. They meant that, right? Like, that wasn't sarcasm.
Insight check, Cal.
Can I also insight check that? That was really worrying. I got a 2. It's only like
You have
20s or
advantage, you have
2s today.
advantage.
You have advantage. You enjoyed the curry.
That was a 1.
I was a 21.
21. So Cal was definitely like said it as if she was being sarcastic, but you get the sense that it wasn't entirely untrue, despite the attempt at sarcasm.
I don't.
No,
I
you
think you hate Anton.
Oh yeah. And, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. I love it.
Like I say, I'm a scholar.
Where are you heading?
Don't know yet.
Is there a larger plan, or you just?
Usually there is. I just don't know it yet. I'll find it out. Don't worry. And he just sort of nods
Anton
knowingly.
is chasing stars.
Ah, I
Not
see.
stars. No, not stars. No, it's just like stars makes it sound like I'm going to be flying. I'm not flying. I'm sailing.
You are reflecting the stars as they reflect on the ocean, no?
Aye. But I don't really know which star I'm heading for. But I will find out. Things usually work out for me. They just do.
I get that. I get that. Traveling to find something when you're not sure what it is.
I'm just going home. It's been a long journey. Heading back
Where
to...
are you coming from?
Waterdeep. Oh, well, as in heading back to Waterdeep. I've been staying in Uteral for a month or two. Seeing some old faces.
Well, I got a pretty cool sword.
Oh, I love
switch my hat around as well.
swords. Can I see it?
Oh, sure. I mean, I was going to ask, could we do a trade for a second? I would love to see yours.
Maybe not in this.
I like swing it off
Oh, okay, it's not really.
into my
Not really.
hand.
Mind out. Mind the
Oh,
newts
God,
too.
it's huge, isn't it? It's probably bigger than Flutter is.
Yeah, it's probably like off the ground. It's probably like 5'5".
Are you holding it flat over the table? Because make an athletics check. It's real
Not
heavy.
a lot of.
I can hold my own sword.
It is so heavy. You've described it before that you have
It's
to
more
like swing
not
the weight
knocking
of it
into things, isn't it? Like,
I
it's
have
a small
rolled.
space.
with advantage.
With advantage, a 22.
You take the sword back and hold it forward to Flutter. Flutter, Prosperous's arm muscles are doing a shit ton of work.
Fucking... Oh, I do not know that I will be able to carry that, but this is incredible. It is made of bone.
Dinosaur bone. Well, big lizard. Really big lizard.
Where did you find a dinosaur?
In a sort of tropical bit under a glacier.
Sure. I guess you found all sorts of unexpected things underground.
I'm pretty pleased that we got so much firepower, so to speak, for this leg of the trip, just in case any gods turn up and try and sink us or anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
Shamini, you shouldn't have. You really shouldn't have. The ship's bell starts ringing.
I want to see Flutter's sword.
Which god was it that you...
The ship's bell starts ringing.
There's like,
Dong.
I stand up, everyone, all the officers are like...
Yeah, ship's bell means something is afoot, something needs doing. Either it's like something the ship needs sailing in a certain direction or something else is going. But the bell is ringing, and you are all able to head out onto deck if you wish.
Would
To the devil.
Would Flutter have heard this? Is this alarm bell common enough, like that it's not super alarming? It's just
Is this
into
like
action now?
an action stations type
It's
thing?
more
or
of a more of a surprise because it means the ship needs to turn, or there's some kind of thing that sailors are required for and the officers are required for. Which the officers all look at each other with a kind of nothing planned. And Fenric does stand up and walk out very sharpish because this is not expected. You're all welcome to follow or do what you will.
barely out of port, yeah.
You are barely out of port. It's
We
true.
all just start shouldering up, start squidging out.
Gal, would you,
Mind the boards.
Gal, Captain, would you like us above deck, or would you rather we stay down here?
Let's go check out the situation. If you need to come back down again to get out of the way, I'll let you know.
Best place to stay is in the ballroom.
I can call you if I
Got it. Evident.
can call you if I need you.
The five of you and the rest of the officers' corps do head out onto the main deck of the ship, and from the crow's nest you hear some shouting. The bell's being rung by a sailor who Fenric has gone over to talk to and is pointing animatedly at the horizon. It is early evening, so the light is not fantastic, but looking out over the side of the ship, there is a humongous storm. Now, I want to give a good sense of this storm because there's a lot of things about it that are worrying. It is a storm that doesn't seem to have any other clouds with it. It appears to be in a completely isolated storm. It's big, but it doesn't have like other storms. There's not a storm front. It is a single isolated chunk of storm, which is weird. Point 2. The storm, lightning crashes through it, and you see like the water around it is churning up in ways that you can't quite glean from it. It doesn't look natural. It doesn't look good. Something about it looks definitely worrisome and problematic. When the lightning bolt flashes, you also see the lightning bolt appears to be coloured purple. So definitely an unnatural storm. What would you all like to do as you can see this storm? It's not that far away and it appears to be heading almost slap bang in your direction.
Let's make an Arcana check.
Yeah, is the lightning usually purple around here?
Arcana check from Anton? No.
Yeah, no. No, very much no. Can we outrun this?
Who are you talking to?
Well, probably to Stefan.
I mean, this isn't. I've been tracking weather fronts, and hang on, and it's going to run up to the deck, run up to the, what's it called? The back deck? It's not called the back deck.
It's quarterdeck.
The quarterdeck. It's going to run back to the quarterdeck and is going to start looking through the charts animatedly as this storm moves closer. Anton, your Arcana roll, what was it?
Was only a 12.
12. It's a magical storm, but you don't know what kind of magic. It just looks magical.
I'm not going to insult anybody's intelligence by saying, guys, it's a magical storm.
Is it?
It's a genius.
Is it more than 60 feet away?
Oh yeah. It's miles away. Yeah, but it is moving towards you at quite a pace.
May I turn and, much in what would have normally been the standard full flutter, head to the main mast where I assume the crow's nest is,
Very much
and
so.
just ascend.
Sure, you have a climb speed, so you can make your way up to the crow's
I
nest.
don't climb the rigging up. I just, like a cat on a cat tree, just like claws all the way up, and look out. Can I get a? Does it look like anything is in the storm? Does it look like there is any, like a ship coming with the storm?
Roll me a perception check as you get to the top and look out at the storm.
Okay. That's shit. That is a 21.
That's a 21. What the hell is happening?
Rolled an 11.
Unbelievable. You look out.
Rogue, let me tell you.
Rogue, yeah. You look out from the crow's nest, and you can see this storm is. You notice with a 21, you notice a couple of things about this storm. For one, it's changing direction. It doesn't, move like a storm would with the wind. It tacks and it curves. It's also very large. It's about 2 miles across, as far as you can tell from the size of it, and it is definitely moving with intent towards the ship.
It looks like it has almost like seen us and is heading towards us.
Almost, yeah. With a 21, you also catch the faintest of glimpses. This storm is clearly humongous. It's almost circular. You can see it spinning. It almost has like a sort of tornado-esque aspect to it as it moves towards the ship, but it is very wide, about 2 miles wide. As it moves forward, you can see that inside the storm, inside it moving, you do see strange shapes within the storm moving around that almost look animate, almost look like creatures.
Anything inside it?
I'll yell down. The storm appears to be moving towards us. I can see shapes in the clouds. It could be elementals, anything like that.
Will it be on us in less than a minute, Chris?
It'll be, with the speed that it's traveling and the way the boat's currently traveling, not directly towards it, but not turning in any way, it'll be on you within about the next minute or so.
Before it gets on us, but like when it's near, we would channel divinity, but I don't want to do it until like the optimum moment. I just don't want to miss it in the description and have to do it as an action in combat if we get there.
I will say that you can hold your channel divinity until such a point as when you activate it right before combat happens. That is fine.
Thank you very much.
No problem. So you're pulling your sword off your back and getting ready, basically.
I will just make sure that Melinoe is invisible on the same.
Yeah.
Cool. Invisible and floating sort of inside your coat, out of the way. Yeah, no problem.
Probably like steadying on a mast.
That's fine. There are 3 masts, no problem.
I'm going to leap up next to Stefan and point out a direction. Like, I know we're not going to get around it, but for it to give us more time and catch us.
You're the captain of a ship, and you have various things you can do as the captain of the ship. Cal, what would you like to do? You have a whole list of ship actions you could possibly take.
All we can do at the moment is be pointing in a sensible direction. Like that's kind of it. I
believe you have an ability to make the ship go faster. Yeah. You could take the sails down to protect them, or you can make the ship go faster. While you're looking through all of the ship rules, because they are complex, that is fine. Flutter's in the crow's nest. Milk and Prosperous are prepping themselves. Anton, are you preparing yourself in any way for this coming barrage?
I can't take time to re-prepare a spell, can I?
No.
Yep. Read the wrong list of spells today, guys. Anton's just going to run around with a spell book being like, why didn't you do this properly?
We were just meant to be in port today.
Wasn't expecting giant magical storms.
No one ever expects giant magical storms.
I am going to hunker down somewhere and prepare for a storm.
Yeah, fine. You find a place to hunker down, that's perfectly fine. Cal, any particular thoughts on what you want to do?
The speed that we're already going at is the speed that we're going at.
Correct.
You can't change that. I will pull out the telescope and try and look to plot a really an optimum course. I want to delay the time it's going to take to hit us. I'm assuming that there is no way we're going to outrun it, so there's no point.
Well, talk to us about your telescope as you pull out your magical telescope and focus it on the storm.
So, what it can do, I will look at it as well, but what I'm primarily trying to do is identifying the best route. And this telescope has sort of a map of shortcuts effect on it.
It does.
That means I can try and, with a wisdom check, find a shortcut, which in this case I'm going to say as being able to get away. I could go.
What I will say is, what kind of effect do you imagine on your... It's a new item, so we're still working this one out, but when you pull the telescope out and look through it, are there any particular markings on the telescope? How does this effect manifest? What's the magical juju that makes it flow?
Draw. That's a good question, because it's an item that I would have purchased at some point.
Yes.
So let's say it's got a slight golden sparkle, like it's like the outside of it is sort of catching the light and it's got a glitter on it or something, but it's just a temporary shimmer.
Lovely. And as it shimmers, you can see through it. Roll me there's a perception check with advantage to get a closer look at this storm, which I'm absolutely fine with. And there's the is it a wisdom check, or it's a specific skill check, isn't it? With the
Another perception check.
And a perception check with the map, which you can have the advantage on, that's fine, to track the best possible route through this, because you will need to find the best possible route through this.
I'm imagining almost like an Iron Man effect, you know, when you look through it and it's like looking, you see like plotted courses and that sort of thing.
Definitely, absolutely.
Cool shit.
So the first, just to see what I'm seeing, is a 21.
Yep.
And as I sort of pan away from the storm and try and look at where we might be going, that's a 23.
Amazing. So as you look through, and your telescope does this, as it almost like zooms in and magnifies and clarifies for you, it works for you to try and work this out. The storm is definitely coming towards you. You can see that it's moving at quite some pace and will be upon you. What you can also see is that the storm is turning in a certain direction. It has a spiralized turn, and if you tack the ship into the spiralized turn and flare the sails, you'll be able to speed up, and you might be able to slingshot yourself out of this storm and away, but you don't know where you'd be going. Like, it's very much I can use this to speed the ship up and get everyone away, but it's going to be in a random direction because I need to get out as fast as I can. But you do manage to see all of that. With the 21 on the perception check, you do note that the sea around the storm, in places where it impacts the water, you can see like bits of spray shoot up and freeze into an iceberg almost, that then sinks and floats away behind the storm as it goes. Parts of the water, as they spray up, turn into almost like a small island, a small mound of dirt that then appears and then sinks beneath the waves very quickly. This storm is definitely like changing the air around it and changing the landscape around it magically in ways you don't fully understand. It's going to be dangerous, no question about it.
Not like it. Okay, Fenric, we're going to come about. We're going to wait until we're maybe 120 feet away.
Righto, Captain.
Then flare the sails. I'm gonna try and catch the wind off the side of it, see where we end up.
All right. And Fenric turns and shouts orders to the crew, all of whom there's a resolve in them. They've experienced things with you. They are aware that magic exists. This isn't a crazy thing for them. It's just this could be super dangerous. But for the time being, I rolled for it, the crew seem to be content and happy to work with you towards this difficult goal.
Everyone else, batten down the hatches and grab hold of something.
Okay.
A bad feeling about this.
Oh no. Oh god, we did it. We got it in. Right. You all hold, and around you sailors are furling up the sails as requested to use the energy of the ship to swim into this and then use the sails to drive out very, very quickly. As you are all preparing yourself for this onslaught. Anyone got anything else? I mean, we've already got Prosper preparing a channel divinity for when you head into the storm. Anyone else have anything they want to have ready to go? Like something they want to have prepared, or like a mage armor, or like something like that? I don't know. Just checking.
I think we discussed that at the beginning of every day I would have cast water breathing on 9 members of the crew.
That's right. Who are the 9 members of the crew who have water breathing?
The ones that came first. I obviously have it.
Who were those ones?
Me, my friends.
Did you do flutter?
if it was like a regular, this is like something you'd do every morning. Like
Sure.
every time he gets up in the morning, there'd be whoever wanted to come at this time.
Maybe their cabins are next door to each other, and as they come out the door in the morning, it's just like
So the ritual's already set up. Everybody come in, park in. It's like 10 people all shoved into one little cabin.
I am 100% fine with that if you are, if everyone else is. So that means that Flutter has it. Do you cast it on yourself, Anton, when you do this?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you cast it on the captain?
If the captain comes down in the morning.
No, let the crew have it.
Okay, in which case, are we okay to say the officers have it as well? Because that's 1, 2, 7, and 2 random crew members who you like, who are your buddies, also have it as well. Is that good?
Yeah.
Cool. Then in which case the ship starts to turn into the storm. And those of you who are not ship people might go, what? But the ship is turning into the storm to face it head on and aiming for the side of it to try and use it, which some of you may understand, but most of you will probably have no idea what's going on there. And as the storm barrels closer and closer to you, and the water around it churning and causing all of this basically mess of sea around it, the ship disappears into the storm. It's just swallowed up by it. Prosperous, I'm guessing your sword starts to glow as you channel divinity.
Yeah, so as I cast my channel divinity, a glow starts to beam out from my hand and engulfs the entirety of the sword. And as it does, wheat symbols appear in glowing on the sword. And the sword glows for the entirety of the next minute.
Well, this will be literally, this will happen just before combat starts, so you can take that as your
Cal's
starting
run
point.
to the foredeck next to the blister. Cutlass ready. I didn't mention weapons before, but she's got various weapons and shoulder armor.
That's fine, don't worry. Yeah.
Stuff that I forgot to mention. But
there's character art and there's a mini, don't worry.
There's shapes in here, and there is something she doesn't quite trust, so she's ready.
Definitely.
If it's dark here, there's now light around me.
I was going to say, as you head into the storm, it's suddenly it's not so much dark as in it's just the wind howls around you, lightning crackles, the ship creaks and groans against ice and rock in the water that's being conjured and created against that. We'll do something with that in a second.
There's 20 foot of bright light around me, and then 20 foot of dim light further around that.
There is 40 foot of light around Prosperous. The entire deck of the ship's only about 20 foot wide. The entire deck of the ship is now lit up, and all of you can see around you as around you on the deck, forms are starting to fall out of the sky and sort of join in on the deck and appear there amongst the rest of you. You can see different elemental forms, like a lightning bolt crackles down into the deck, starting a small fire which animates and starts bouncing around the place. Water washes over the side of the deck and animatedly rises like a living wave. One of the chunks of rock from the water is splashed up in it and lands and starts moving up and is definitely moving animatedly, humanoidly. And part of the wind appears to be howling, and almost a face swoops around the crow's nest where you are, Flutter, as we enter initiative. Everyone please roll me initiative and just shout them out.
Does the advantage count for initiative as well?
An initiative is an ability check? Yes, it does.
Yes.
Ah, shit. Rolled bad.
Wow. I still rolled an 8.
Please just shout them out using the initiative tracker. We don't have our Hero Forge minis yet. They're in the post, but when they come here, we'll have an initiative tracker with minis very soon, very soon. For the meantime, I'm just going to use my tracker. So what we got?
8.
8 with advantage. Jesus.
16 for Flutter with a plus 11.
Wow.
It's an 18 for Cal.
18 for Cal. Thank you. Go ahead. Anyone?
14.
14 for Milk. Anton?
13.
13.
Would you like me to roll for Malinaway, as I will be trying to use her turn?
Sure.
Or I can do it after mine.
Familiars I tend to do like on your turn, because otherwise things like holding a spell to then touch feels a little bit harsh because of the concentration checks. So what I'll say is she goes on your turn, and you can choose if she goes before or after you, depending on what you need her to do, because I think that's easier. Grand. In which case, let's do this. So, top initiative count 20, the ship. Cal, I'm going to have you roll for the ship. I think that's the best way of handling this. The thundering, crashing roar around you means that the ship is currently grinding through ocean that's made up of rock and ice. It is a complete. It is bad for the hull.
Don't like it.
Can you? Can the ship please roll me a con saving throw?
I mean, technically it's in the aura.
Is the ship your ally?
Yeah.
Is the ship now your ally? You're making that
We're in
choice.
Combat. Everything's my ally that's not these elemental things.
I will allow. In which case, add 5 to the ship's roll.
Still only 13.
13. Okay. The ship takes 13, 16, 23 points of damage to the hull, it's bludgeoning damage, as it is pushing its way through this ungodly mess of a storm. At the same time, can you roll me a d20?
It's 19.
Lovely. The crew hold their wits about them, even in spite of all of this mess they are putting themselves through. And the grinding against the hull doesn't cause any like humongous damage yet. But yeah, the ship is starting to slow down in this storm. You'll have to unfurl the sails and pick up speed very, very quickly. Otherwise, the ship's likely to be ground to pulp by this strange storm that is raging all around you. And Cal, an 18, it is you next. What would you like to do? There are these 4 elementals, 3 of them on deck, 1 around the crow's nest, that are starting to very clearly encroach upon your crew.
3, did you say?
There is an earth, water, and fire elemental on the deck of the ship, and an air elemental floating around the crow's nest.
Oh, and air. 3
because Flutter decided to be there.
Right, I will go for... where are they? Like, who are they? Who do they look like they're going for?
There are sailors running all over the deck. You managed to roll very high, so they are focusing entirely on their task of unfurling the sails to get that speed boost, to use the wind of the storm to get out of this. Some of your officers are on board deck helping out and involved in this. The elementals are currently not going for anyone in particular. They are just on deck of the ship looking for something. I mean, they're very hard to read. They don't really have faces, but they are clearly there and want to do some damage.
Say they're very hard to read. Could I perhaps try and insight 1 to maybe get?
Are you bonus action insightful fighting? Yes, of course you can. That's perfectly fine. Which one do you want to insight?
Let's go for the lightning one. I do not like the fact that it nearly set fire to my ship. I am unimpressed.
I have to roll a deception check as a fire elemental.
That wasn't. Yes.
Don't forget you have a minimum roll on insight as part of the point of this.
Oh, I did. Yes, thank you.
It doesn't matter. I rolled a 2.
Sorry.
You looking at this fire elemental, you realise this is not just an elemental; it's a primeval elemental. It doesn't have, like some elementals that you've encountered as part of what some wizards can summon, do have the ability to have intelligence and be able to understand basic tasks. This one appears to be just angry, just wanting to burn everything down. It's very much a burn it all down vibe you get from it very, very quickly. Like, these are not elementals that could potentially be reasoned with easily.
Yeah. Okay. I am going to charge at it with my cutlass.
Sure.
Yelling.
You swing down off the quarter deck very nimbly, maybe grab onto a rope and swing. I don't know. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah,
please.
and swing down in front of the fire elemental and start just hacking at it. Go for it.
I'm gonna get the heck off my ship! That insightful fighting gave me advantage, which is fine. That's a swinging with a cutlass. That's a 17 to hit.
Yes, you do swing through it, and you do, like, you're not so much tearing and cutting as you are bisecting the air it is in, and the fire does sort of flow around the blade. You're only going to do half damage because magical weapons. It needs magical weapons to really hurt it, but you are still cutting through the space it is in and still injuring it.
Yeah. With my sneak attack as well, that's 15 points of damage.
Halved already, or not yet?
No, not halved.
Okay, halved to 7 damage to it. You don't seem to be doing that much to it in this sense, because non-magical weapon. Lovely. Count, that's a bonus action, movement, and an action, so it's the end of your turn. Flutter, in the crow's nest.
How far down to the deck is it from the top of the mast, Chris?
Show me, does it say on your stats how far it is from the... I know how long the ship is.
Height.
Mast height.
The ship is 100 foot long.
Yes.
So I'm guessing a similar height mast, maybe slightly less.
Let's say 70. Let's make that canon. It's 70 foot up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have an air elemental in front of me.
You can see in this crazy wind now whipping around all of you, there is this slightly humanoid form in it that is sort of dancing among the sails. Looks like it might try and tear them.
Okay, great. Can I get to it? Like, if I run across like the mast, the
yard. You want to run across the yardarm? Sure.
Yes!
Run across the fucking yardarm. Be my guest. You run onto the yardarm. Do it.
Do you need me to make a check of any variety, or can I just do
You
it?
have claws and you have a climb speed, so no, you don't need to.
Okay, sick. I will run across the yardarm, and Flutter makes this sort of movement where they like straighten out their hand and almost look like they're reaching for something as they rush towards the elemental, and then stop and pull their sword out of the scabbard and run at the elemental. Chris, it's my masterwork rapier silvered.
It is, and it counts as magical.
Sick. I'm going to run at it. And,
it's not because it can fly. It's going to be sort of floating around. But if you want to run at it and cut it as it's sort of flying over you effectively, I know D&D is turn order combat, but for flavor, if nothing else.
Yeah. Is there a way that I can sort of like bend and spring and attack it using some of the like extra spring that I can get from using
the runner's blade?
Running blade?
Yeah, of course you can. If you want to like run up and jump, you can basically. Your speed is 30 feet, right?
Yeah.
So,
as far as I recall.
Yeah. 30 feet is about right between the two masts, and because you have a climb speed, I think you need to make me an acrobatics check on this, but I would allow you could probably jump, cut, and land on the back mast.
Okay, I would love that.
That is sick. Let's do that.
Do I get any sort of advantage because of the power I would get from the blade, or is that counteracted by the fact that I'm doing it on the yardarm?
I think you have a climb speed, so falling is not a problem for you. And the runner's blade is like a springy. I think this is something you would know how to do, is using your runner's blade as like almost like a spring. So yeah, I would allow advantage of the acrobatics check to leap, cut, land.
Rad. That is the acrobatics check is going to be pretty fucking good. That's a 29.
Yeah, you leap through the air. I think you probably leap through the elemental as you try and cut it. No
brilliant.
problem. Yeah.
May I, if I'm going to leap through it, may I just like rapier first?
Yeah.
Like almost dive through it, pierce through, and then do like a roll out.
Yes, of course you may.
Will I say if I hit, I'm going to roll.
It's cinematic as fuck. I love it. Let's do it.
Amazing. Let's go. The attack with the rapier is I thought that was a 16. Oh, it is. It's a 25 to hit.
You hit it.
And I would also, as part of that thing, I'm going to do some of my nonsense, if I may. Sorry, I've got some new nonsense.
Let's hear about the nonsense. What nonsense do you want to do?
I'd like to do I think, a mobile flourish, please.
Ooh, yeah, of course you can.
If I can, where is the nonsense I'm looking for? Sorry, my sheet is suddenly a lot larger than it used to be.
Yes, cool.
What I'd like to do, as I pierce through with the rapier, almost push the elemental away from the sails, so that it's not going to be doing as much damage to the sails. So I roll my rapier damage. And I roll the flourish damage, and I can push the elemental 12 feet.
Yeah, as you jump through it, and as you are slicing through it with the rapier, you use it to almost use the flat of the blade to waft it. And what you end up doing is sort of pushing and twisting, and it's beautiful arcing movement that it is sort of going down to go through the sails. Just becomes sort of spun to one side. Definitely, you've drawn its attention, very much so. How much damage was that?
That is 14 plus 5, 19 points of rapier damage.
19 points of damage, and it takes the full damage because you're Masterwork Rapier. No problemo. Lovely stuff. Right, on the deck of the ship, the lump of earth...
Oh, shit, wait, sorry. No, I'm also a rogue.
Yes, Bard Rogue. Bard Rogue.
Yes, sorry, and because I am dueling this creature one-on-one.
Because you're a swashbuckler Bard Rogue.
Swashbuckler rogue. I also, on top of that, do 7 points of sneak attack.
Splendid, thank you. It sort of, you tear through it and it sort of wafts away, sort of slightly disapparates and then starts to form itself back again, clearly quite annoyed. There's a definite, something about it is unhappy.
Do a skid on the mast and turn around as if I'm going to run back.
Awesome. The earth elemental on the deck of the ship is going to... The bit of earth that got thrown up by the wave is bulking out and crunching out and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, because earth elementals are quite large. And as it sort of rears itself up in the middle of the ship, it is going to just raise its hands in the air and slam straight down.
Oh.
What is the hull's AC, Shant?
15.
15.
Oh, Jesus, that's not big.
I rolled a 15. Lucky me. It is a siege monster. It deals double damage to objects and structures. So it is going to just slam down into the hull of the ship and does 8 plus 9. Hang on. 13, 26 points of damage to the hull as it just slams down. And as it slams down, the deck it is standing on collapses under it. There is a huge cracking rent as it falls down and is just smashing its way, trying to smash its way through the entire ship. It doesn't get very far. It's only gone down one level, but it has smashed a hole in the top deck and is now trying to, effectively, what looks like an earth elemental trying to burrow, but it's just smashing its way straight down.
No, do not like. Shall I be keeping track of the hull's total damage taken?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Cool. Lovely. Milk. I mean, the deck you are standing on, you and Prosperous and Anton and Cal, does sort of buckle beneath you a bit, and you can see this earthman just start digging its way straight down.
So we've had a fire one, which is next to Cal.
There's one of each.
Hell one above. Yeah, I'm just where we are. And would I have it? No, that wouldn't really make any sense. Okay, I am going to run 40 feet just horizontally up the mast.
Yeah, that's fine. You can do that.
Turn around, and I'm going to cast Banishment on the air elemental and the earth elemental of the 4.
On both of them?
Well, it's cast at a level 5, darling, which means I can cast it on 2 creatures.
That's amazing.
That's
fantastic.
Yeah.
So the earth one and the air one.
Those seem the most dangerous. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Right, what do I need to roll?
2 charisma saving throws. 17.
Oh my god.
1.
Okay, the earth elemental has a -3 to charisma saving throws, and the air elemental has a -2. So
good. Well, we'll see how they do.
It's a 3 and a 2.
Great. So Milk will run straight up, turn around, sort of arc his back, and just pop them out of existence and just breathe there.
Oh my.
The earth elemental, as it is crunching its way through the deck, suddenly just It's gone. Just vanished out of nowhere. And the air elemental, Flutter, as you leap through it and turn, it sort of turns around, just vanishes. Is there sort of like a smoky sulfuric effect, Milk?
Yeah, with a nice... I think, these days.
Both just pop out of existence.
Just that, I mean, that won't hold, but a little bit of situational management. That's out of actions.
Unbelievable. Such a
But
good
I
move.
will, on her turn, then I will send Malinaway down to the fire one, but still invisibly, just sort of behind, but out of the way of Cal, in case that comes.
Sure, so Milanoe is invisibly floating around near the fire one, but not engaged in it directly. That's fine. No problem at all. Anton.
We have water and we have fire left,
Water
right?
and fire are left.
Cool. I'm going to cast banishment on the fire one.
You're going to cast banishment on the what now?
The fire one.
The fire one.
Yeah, we can always burn the water one. That was my thing.
Not on my ship, you can't!
I wouldn't do fire damage on the water one. It's probably resistant.
Okay.
Chris, how much are you loving
Fire.
this castle
Fire.
now?
That's water.
That's what I'm thinking. I will.
We got older spells.
Look, I love the fact that people are using spells creatively. It's great. I'm enjoying it very much. So, the fire elemental makes a charisma saving throw. That is a 9. Now, how is your banishment different?
Mine's like a blue portal that it gets sucked through. It just opens up behind it. It's like a boom tube, almost like a vacuum.
Okay, so and Cal, the one you are fighting, suddenly gets sucked into this strange portal, and the portal closes. You've seen Anton do that before, so you're more aware of what that is. But yeah, 3 of the elementals attacking your ship are now no longer attacking your ship.
Temporarily? Do I know this is temporary?
You would know from banishment that it is the banishment temporarily removes something. However, the rules of banishment state quite clear that something's not from this plane of existence. If concentration is held for a minute, it stays there.
Yeah.
And elementals are not from round here. Never are. Prosperous.
So there's only a water one left.
Correct.
I'll cast Wrathful Smite,
Okay.
and then I'll hit it twice.
Go for it. What's that look for?
Get it up.
Well, I've rolled a 2, but that becomes a 16.
That hits, yes.
And the other one is a 7 on the dice, so a 21.
Yes, both of those hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
You have plus 14 to hit.
Yeah, when I channel divinity, I get an extra +5.
Oh boy.
Nice.
And I'm going to 3rd level smite on both of these.
Okay.
Sorry, I have Wrathful Smited, so it needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. It's a flat roll. It's a 4.
Like, I kill it.
It is frightened of me, so I get to make the second one with advantage, just in case it's natural 20. It's not. Right, okay, hang on.
It's all good.
Right. Oh my god, sorry everyone. I do a lot
Paladin
of
maths.
Paladin maths. Yeah.
a lot of right. So the first one. I need 4 of these.
We could just call it murder maths. Like it's just like
Paladin maths sounds a bit less murder hobo-y, so...
yes, no. It's not.
That's 30 points of damage on the first one.
Oh my god.
Yes.
So 19. Oh my god. 19 add 5 is 24, 26, and 31 points of damage on the second one.
Get him.
61 points of damage in one... Yeah, okay.
Oh, I didn't roll the Wrathful Smite damage. Sorry.
Get him.
Which is another 1.
No, what?
Every little counts.
Yeah.
And it's frightened, so it has disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. Disadvantage on attack rolls while it can see me.
Why? Okay, good. Right.
And it can't willingly move closer to me, so I will stand between it and the ship.
I mean, can it be frightened when it's
on
dead?
the deck.
It's on the deck, so it can...
It's already on the ship.
Yes, but I can stand between it and the rest of the ship, and it can't move any closer
Yeah.
That's
Stand
fine.
between it and the important saily parts.
Like the mast is quite an obvious one, I'd say. Yeah. Cool. I will allow
Saily
it. That's
parts.
perfectly fine.
Brilliant.
Right.
It can make a wisdom check against that as an action.
Wow.
Rough.
How long does it last for?
While I hold concentration on it.
Rough. Big woof.
Tea? Should we have tea? Like, in this...
Just sit there.
Wait. No.
Okay, so
Not anymore, Chris.
Just gonna jump off the ship. It wasn't worth it.
I will have you know that the water elemental, whose go it is now, is going to... So, Prosperous, you're standing in front of it. Cal and Milinoe, who is invisible, and... well, there, Milk and Anton's off to one side. Milk's up the mast, Flutter's up one of the masts. It is going to flow downwards through the cracks. It can fit through spaces 1 inch wide without squeezing to flow down into the ship. And it flows down into the
Would
ship.
that count as an attack of opportunity because it moved away from me?
Leaving,
Yes, it's leaving. That counts.
And that's with advantage against... No.
Why advantage? Why give
I
yourself
don't know,
advantage? You
it's
don't need
frightened. I'm
advantage.
just checking.
You roll a 1, you still hit it.
Take it anyway.
I've rolled a natural 20.
Oh my god.
I'm going to smite at second level.
Oh my god.
Yes!
I kill it.
I've quit it.
That's squish chat.
12, 17, 20, 25. That's just on the dice. That's just on the weapon.
It's like, why are you even bothering rolling? Like, it's dead.
I want to know how much damage Emma did in 1 turn.
Yeah,
That's what
fair.
I'd like to
we're
know.
we're at
20.
61 so far.
55.
62.
Yeah,
60, yes,
because
sorry.
that raffle smite.
41.
Close.
That is 45 points of damage.
106.
100, yeah!
107 points in total.
It's
I think
not
you killed
dead.
it.
It still has hit points.
More than
They were-
107.
It has 7 more than 107 hit points.
I mean,
You came very close.
what you gonna do?
Knowledgeable.
Can you describe those 3 attacks to me as you carve this water elemental to pieces?
The sword is really heavy, so it's mostly just using the weight of the sword to like slash through water. And I'm imagining there's just like a lot of splashback as like the water elemental is getting slowly smaller and smaller. So like actually, it's just there's only a tiny bit of it left to seep.
Is there like a sort of like radiant boom every time you impact with the sword as well because of the smiting?
I don't think it's a boom. It just like glows a bit brighter and
Okay.
the wheat symbols.
Yeah, so the carving, you carve through this 3 heavy strikes as it falls beneath deck and you can't see it anymore.
I hope we're not doing anything else after this because I'm not going to have many spells left.
You know the effect of like of light on water, and you get that like ripple, like that just lit the whole ship now with like golden rippling light.
Yes,
That's
very
fucking
much
rad.
so. Yes, the ship is glowing with golden light as the water elemental disappears beneath deck and you have no idea where it's gone or what it is doing. Initiative count 20, the ship. Cal, do you want the ship to try and spring off, as discussed, try and get the hell out of here and use the storm against itself effectively?
If it doesn't, it's taking hull damage every turn, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, in that case, I will just yell.
Hell of a lot of damage, one might say.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
2 good puns so
I
far.
can't handle this amount of punnage. Go on.
I'm here.
Yeah, I will yell, Famric, now!
Great. In which case, the ship, Femric can do something to make the ship like move very quickly, right? There is an ability that the first mate has, I believe.
I'm not sure. Oh, yes, you're right. Yes.
It's almost like I read the stat book.
Oh my gosh, full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead. So, do you want to do? Yeah.
Yeah, bonus it. Would you like me to roll that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sorry, that's what you're talking about.
It's all right. Don't worry. We're learning. We're all learning.
Wrong place. Right. So yes, you can exhort the crew to work harder.
Yep.
Increase speed by oh, that was sad. 5 foot a round. It's not That was I rolled a 1 on a 1d6. That's very sad.
Okay.
So yeah.
But the storm will also be dragging the ship along with it as the ship suddenly, the sails unfurl and the crew hold all the ropes taut, and you all can see as the ship just almost kicks off a little at an angle. That's the kind of drag you've managed to get out of going full bore, using the entire speed of the storm to drag the ship really fast. Roll me a con save for the ship as the sea is still shit.
+5.
+5.
I just love how Emma's vivacious pose of someone who's just practically killed something by herself.
That's a 19.
Yes.
That's a 19 for the ship.
And it takes half damage from this. Probably skipping over the top of a lot of it, frankly. Right, let me roll these.
Yeah.
11, 14. Oh, another 10 on top of that. That's a 6. You're good. That is 20. 10 points of damage to the hull as the Bluebottle skips over the top of this ice and rock that's part of this storm all around you, as you are suddenly all dragged forward, and the ship is being catapulted through this storm at an incredible pace, and you can all see how the storm is just rushing past you. There are more elemental figures and movement in the clouds around you, but they all appear to sort of woo, as you go flying past them all at an incredible speed, using the speed of the storm to drag yourself through this to get enough momentum to shoot out of it at a very, very high rate. Are people going to be running below deck to try and find this water elemental?
100%.
Yeah.
Is everyone running below deck to try and find this water elemental?
Assuming I've seen it happen, then
I might squeeze through one of the cracks and just follow it directly using my more liquidy form.
Balls.
Syrup form.
Gosh,
there is also
seriously.
a hole in the hull right now in the centre of the deck. You could jump
we could
down.
all just go down.
To just go down
down there,
immediately
then.
if you want to.
Quite conveniently placed. Thank
Yeah,
you,
it is.
Earth Elemental.
If I see everyone else is going after it,
Yeah, actually.
so it basically someone needs to go down there who knows the inside of the ship. So I don't want to just send Prosperous and Milk, but if
Anton
Anton's
does.
going, that's
Fine,
fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll probably actually
Well, I'll say
say,
You're all the way up in the crow's
Yeah.
nest anyway.
well, I can see things coming that way as well.
I might yell
I
to
think
you
maybe, Flutter would
it's only got
start
7
to
hit
come
points,
down.
right?
Yeah.
And
Points.
Does
I'll
Cal
stay up.
yell,
All three of us are
Yeah.
just going to pack in and just punch
I
it
will,
to death.
as I see Flutter, I'll be like, hold up, what else we got coming?
Great.
And look to Prosperous, who's probably already started moving by the time I'm like, could you? Okay.
I mean, if I go down there, it can't. As long as it's still frightened, it can't come closer to me, so I can only push it further down.
Not a bad thing. It's made of water. Good. Right. And Milk, you are
Anton,
going to.
go along.
I'll stay where I am. It sounds like
You'll stay where you are.
Prosperous has this covered.
Okay, in which case, Cal, it is your turn first. You're staying on board deck. If you stay up here, you can command the ship and command the crew as you normally would, and there's no extra action to be taken on that front. Flutter, are you going back to the crow's nest?
Yeah, I literally would have just like dragged claws down and then throw myself back up. Wouldn't have gone far.
Okay.
Do I see anything else coming? I'm going to take a good look around to see whether we're heading towards a particularly big chunk of earth or heading towards a big iceberg. If
Cool.
it looks like we're in any more danger than usual.
As you climb up again, get your way back up to the crow's nest, slightly out of initiative this, but just because we're getting to that point, roll me a perception check looking out from the crow's nest.
Oh wow, my dice climbed over another dice to do that. It's a 17.
Great. As you look out, the storm howling all around, you see elemental forms in the clouds moving around through this at quite a pace. As you look ahead of you, you are going in the direction the wind is traveling, so the wind is picking up the sails, and you can see these patches of ice and rock on the surface of the water, but the ship is going so fast it is skimming over the top of a lot of them. There is the occasional crash and screech as the ship does bounce over a lot of these pieces, but the ship is managing to skate basically ahead of the curve on this. Looking out to your right, the storm, you can just see the storm cloud, and you know that that's the edge you're trying to shoot yourself out of, and Cal's trying to work out, using the knowledge that she gained earlier, how to get out of here as quickly as possible. You also glance to your left into the storm, and on the just where this storm front is howling around you and looking, you think you see in the center of all of this, in the middle of this storm, you get a brief flash of, in the center of this, it looks like the storm fades, abates. You get a brief, very, very brief vision of some tall-ish towers of a sort of dark black material, almost like glass, but not entirely. There's a sort of obsidian quality to it. But as quickly as you see that flash, it is gone again. Milk, you're staying above. Anything you're doing in particular on deck of the ship at this point?
So the elementals have gone, they're not coming back.
All three of them are gone, and you're moving too fast for new ones to land, yes.
Okay. I will slide back down the mast and seek out the captain and ask...
Cal's on the deck, yep.
Any idea what that was? What that is, rather?
I have no clue. I ain't never seen anything like this before.
Okay, well, it seems that we're moving at quite a lick. Anything we can do? Like anything I can help with?
Just keep on your toes until we're clear.
Sure thing.
You might hear Flutter yell from the crow's nest. There is a black glass city inside of the storm.
Black glass. Did they say black glass? Just quite a lot of black glass where I came from. Not saying it's a link.
Below deck, Anton, Prosperous, you are both running below deck. Shamini, what is directly below the hull at the point where the impact from the Earth Elemental would have been? You can make a call
It's
on
like
that.
right in the middle.
Yeah, right in the middle.
So it wasn't. So we've got the raised bits on the edge, and then there's the main decks, and then there's the
Centre
lower
of the
deck.
main deck.
Oh, I've got a map. Do you want to know what kind of room it could be?
Yeah, give me a room it could be. Why not? It's your ship.
Yeah. Just looks like a bunch of cargo.
Cargo. Cool.
Yeah.
No,
How
that's not what I
exciting.
can get.
Yeah.
The mantine just scattered across
cargo
the
in the middle.
floor.
Around the edge.
Anton, Prosperous, as you head below deck, running through this hole in the middle of the deck to like drop down and look around, there's cargo all around you, but you see no sign of any kind of water elemental.
Can I look for it?
You can take an
Yeah.
action to look for it, yes.
There's also you'll also be able to see the stairs going down to the hold, which is the next
Can
one.
I? Anton, what's your perception mod?
Well, I was going to investigate.
You can do
Okay.
that too, that's fine.
I will percept.
You can both use your action to do that, that's fine.
Remember, Emma, you still have advantage.
Still have
Yeah.
advantage.
Well, that is a 21.
Okay.
I got a... Sorry, still getting used to the app.
It's all good, don't worry.
Investigation 24.
Between the two of you looking around, you can see like there's like rain and seawater being thrown up by the storm, and everything's got this like slight layer of damp over it. But there is a very obvious wet patch where something like moved through this space, and you can see that it's heading lower into the hold.
We need to go further down. Do you think we should?
Yeah.
Do you think we should bash a hole in the floor or go down the stairs?
No, let's just... I point towards where the stairs are going. Like, we're just going to walk. Chances are it might be escaping through the bottom of the cargo hold, so it might just become one with the sea.
I mean, it could do that, or it could do
with the sea.
a lot of damage. So we should go check.
I think you'll
so
do
chill.
enough. Yeah, let's go.
I love how chill Anton is. It's like, well,
A bit
just like
more
that.
Howling storm all round. Yeah, it's fine, you know.
This is the kind of thing that happens to me, you know.
What's on the next deck down, Chris?
You can use your movement. You can use movement and action to get here. I will say that we'll keep the two of you in initiative in the water elemental. As you head down into the hold, down the stairs, there's a sort of strange noise underneath where the stairs are slightly off to one side. Everything's a bit blocked, but there's a strange sort of muffled.
Sounds ominously like a water elemental.
We can curl it with your findings.
Do you use your movement to like run back to the point where this is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what we're
we're
here
gonna
for.
Go find it.
I am just
We're here to
checking.
murder something, okay?
I am just checking.
Is it still frightened of me?
Well, why wouldn't it be? You haven't lost concentration.
Well, unless it's used an action to roll a...
No, it's been busy.
Probably running away from you. So we're like, ah!
As you run back, you can see that You've seen the water elemental. You know what it is. It's living water and it's moving. Inside the water, the figure of Gaul is just in the water, just like trying to get out of the water, and you are both running up to see this as flails madly inside the water.
Can I try and pull Gaul out of the water?
How far away is it?
You can use your action. I will say that because of I've been running turns for the elemental, you both go, Anton goes before Prosperous. So Anton, what do you want to do as you are running down and you can see within 10, 15 feet because you're running around various boxes and things in the cargo hold?
All the dead on it.
Oh, okay, lovely. What kind of saving throws are you
I
making?
don't have to. Well, I don't want to freeze it and freeze him inside of it.
Plus, you know, it's got 7 hit points.
Correct.
Yeah,
What is the
dead should be
saving
more
throw?
than enough to kill. It should be mine, which is 17, I believe.
So wisdom saving throw from me because it's on the creature.
Yeah, but I think my thingy is 17.
Oh, 17.
Yeah,
in which case,
save
I rolled an 11. So as you cast Toll the Dead on it, it just bursts. And the water just
Do I not have to roll
splashes.
damage?
Roll damage.
I mean, you're going to roll over 7.
No, it could be 2 1s. It's cantrip.
All right.
I mean, it was 2 11s, so...
It was 4 1s.
Yeah, that's how maths works.
That is exactly how maths works, yeah. And that's the only version of maths I care about.
There is an almighty pop, and the elemental just bursts out, and Gaul slumps to the floor.
Can I run over to him? Is he okay?
No.
What? How not okay is he?
Well, he's dead.
Okay.
They're commoners, and not all of them, but some of them, and they don't get death saving throws.
Oh.
Anton looks at you and he's like, that's our dinner for the next few, months. Do you reckon you could...
What, you're gonna eat him?
No, you're a paladin, right?
Yeah, but
You're channeling your god. Looks into his journal.
I used those spells for today. I wasn't expecting anyone to die.
It's just silence. He just sat there, looks at the cook, and he's like, Goal, you made some weird things.
You make some weird
I
things.
liked you.
Can I lift him up
Of course you can.
over my shoulder and take him back up?
Of course you can, that's fine. On the deck of the ship, Cal, Flutter, Milk. Cal, the ship is now doing what you wanted it to. You need now to roll me for the crew to be able to fulfill the order as you need it to be, to tack off in this direction very hard to get the hell out of this mess.
Is there a modifier for that?
Yes, I have the crew's modifier here. Just tell me what you roll on a d20.
3.
The crew... I think probably because Prosperous steps back on board
No,
deck.
I'm not taking him above deck. I'm not in the middle of a storm. I was just going to take him back to the galley.
Okay, fine. Well, in which case, the crew are trying desperately to make the ship turn and move in the way that you're asking, but they're struggling with it. And as they struggle with it, the ship grinds against the ice and stone again, taking more damage from this storm. Roll me the con save, please. For the ship.
7.
Chris wants to kill that ship, wants to break your ship, he wants to destroy your ship.
Again.
Yeah, 5, 12, 18 points of damage to the hull again as it just keeps grinding against us. And you can feel like this situation is getting out of control. Like, the crew are trying to maintain this and are trying to do what you asked them to do, but you've now missed the point where you wanted to use that as a springboard. The ship is still going super fast. Nothing has changed, but you are still, being dragged along. And these elementals are now, you can see them in the water, both Flutter and Milk can see this. They are chasing after the ship. The ship is going so fast that they can't catch up to it. So it's basically a ship going, elementals around going kind of vibe at the moment. But at this point, you are still stuck in the storm.
Is there any way that I could, shout either encouraging or really unencouraging words to the crew to sort of encourage them to do better on their roles?
Well, Fenric technically is actually interesting. Fenric technically makes the roll for the crew you could give Fenric advantage, I'd say. Why not? In which case, Sharma, you can make that roll again. If Milk's there, Milk, you have to tell me how you give the advantage on this and how you talk to the crew.
Given that they've just met me, I might play for intimidation rather than persuasion because I don't know much about ships. So I might just, do a bit of disguise self and just make the eyes that are missing from my face sort of reappear all over my body and just be like, Flee, demons! And see if that kind of encourages people to find a little bit more.
Shamini, please make that roll again. There's the advantage there, which is
I'm gonna use a
lot.
different die. I'm gonna use a different die. Maybe this will help. Come on, different die. Oh, okay, please come on, please come on. Was that the con?
No, that's
Oh,
the
no, that's
that's
straight
the roll
one.
for the
Sorry,
ship.
that's a 16.
Yeah, it's enough. As Milk in the middle of as they're struggling to make this work, Milk just do this. Suddenly the crews just push real hard, and the ship, like a skipping stone, shoots out of the storm, and suddenly you are out of the storm. You are out of all of the wind and the sleeting, all of the stuff around the storm that was bashing into the hull, and the ship is just skipping and sliding very, very quickly and stops with this almighty spray of water, a bit like the end of a log flume. The ship stops dead in the water, just spiraling slightly, like going slightly to the side, and just stops. The storm, you can see behind you, is moving away.
I'm gonna run to that side, where it is, and just watch it as it disappears.
If you all head back to the deck of the ship,
probably help Prosperous with the body.
You put it in the galley.
Just lay him out and then come back up, see if there's anything that needs doing for the people who are still alive.
6 crew people died.
6?
6.
Is there anyone in the crew who is obviously injured but isn't dead? Like,
there would be quite a few sort of surface-style injuries. The 6 that died didn't just drop dead. They were hit by the mast swinging around incredibly quickly, or by the sheer force. Like probably 1 or 2 of them went overboard as part of the speed at which the ship was traveling and that sort of thing. You, Flutter, Anton, Cal would know this too, but Cal's not happy about it. Sailors die all the time.
yeah.
Not oh, they're all expendable, but very much they're commoners. They're not statted characters, and they do the best they can. But in situations like this, there's always 1 or 2 that don't make it.
I'm going to slide down the mast, just claws on chalkboard, just come and stand behind Cal and just put a hand on her shoulder and squeeze, and then go to start healing some people. There's sort of Flutter would sort of kneel down in front of someone and just sort of would be almost like sitting cross-legged in front of them and just talking in that sort of really soothing, quiet sort of undertone of nonsense about what we can see, and almost in the sort of the sort of way that you would talk to a child, in a non-patronizing way, which hopefully is how you would be talking to a child anyway. But and there's just sort of this shimmer of deep blue sort of light that sort of builds in the area around them, and they would just sort of be slowly going and just resting a hand on each person and just, no, it's going to be okay. I know this has been a long evening, but and just healing whoever they can.
And that's a healing word each time, yes?
It would be cure wounds.
Oh, it's cure wounds. Okay, lovely. Yeah. Cool.
I can heal as well.
Okay. Well, no one is... I rolled for it. No one is... there aren't that many injured crew people because you managed to take out the threat pretty quickly, but some crew did get killed by the sheer nature of what you were facing, Gaul being the most prominent one of that lot.
Is Elshane around?
Elshane is around helping with the healing. Elshane, as per usual, Elshane is not a magic user. Elshane is using herbalism kits and medicine checks to stabilize people.
I will just have a quiet word with Melinaway and just tell her to fly up into the sky over the storm and see if she can get above it and see
the storm is now on the horizon,
really far away?
Going. I mean, it travels very fast. Yeah.
What's in front of us then?
What was that?
Stefan, figure out where we are.
Right here, Captain. I'm right on it.
can I settle up next to Cal? Gol, the water elemental, he's laid out in the galley.
Alright, plenty to do. If you're at a loose end, ask Fanric if there's anything you can do to help. And I'm gonna go and look for Harlock.
Cool. Harlock is with a lot of the other sailors picking up pieces, like starting to pick up bits of the top deck, because it wasn't like smashed in and everything was ruined. Like there's lots of usable wood. It's just like it started piling and storing and packing that wood so that the hull can be repaired.
Anything you need?
I'm going to have to take some time. It'd be
How long
faster
would that?
if we didn't move.
I'll get back to you on that.
Right.
If we don't move, how long?
Couple hours for basic fixes, but we need to go into port.
Right.
How much damage did the hull take in total?
77 points.
How much damage is? What's its AC?
Its total HP is 300.
Grand. Cool. So yeah, a good third of the ship is torn open in places. It's not like sinking, taking in water, but it is like damaged. It will need repairs before it does anything too quick or too dangerous. Cal, I believe you have a ritual you have prepared for if someone of the crew dies.
Yeah, and I'll again like instruct Fanric on that and get the bodies laid out, and wait for a moment where, apart from the ongoing repairs, everything else is, people have done everything that they can do for the moment.
Yeah.
I will disappear down into my cabin and come out with 7 like little orange, like marigold like type flowers. And Fenric will basically say a few words, which sounds like a sort of standard spiel that we do every time. And Cal will lay a flower on each person, and then
you can lay on Gaul and 3 of them. The other 3 you need to throw overboard because the bodies are long gone.
Oh, we lost people, didn't we? Yes. Yeah. Which is also part of the. Yeah, I mean that's normal. You don't always have the. Yeah, no. You don't always have it. So representation space left. Yeah. On the deck. And I presume we just bury everyone at sea.
Yeah, of course.
Essentially, there's no. I mean, there's no unless I know that there's anyone. No.
You wouldn't keep bodies at sea. There's no way.
No, I mean, I feel like I have something, but it's not. I don't think it's. We're not going to get anyone home to where they need to be within that time. So, yeah.
As you perform this ceremony, and as the rest of you, like Anton and Flutter, you've seen this before and you're aware of it, and you know to like wait respectfully. Milk Prosper is probably new to you, but the idea of funereal rites is not new to you as a concept, so you're probably able to take a second there too and take it all in. There's some noise, some sort of hammer and nail as the boat is being fixed behind you. Cal, as this is happening, Stefan comes up behind you. Sorry to interrupt, Captain, but I don't know where we are. And that's where we're going to end for today.
What?
Slip that one past us anyhow, would you?
And that's where we're going to pick up next time, everybody.
Died.
Thank you. Thank
Setting
you
the
all for
tone.
joining us.
just
Yeah.
In case we thought there were going to be fun times and shenanigans.
There were still fun times and shenanigans. There will be more fun times and shenanigans, just also death.
Nice to end on a somber note.
Yeah. Well, if you
Gravity.
enjoyed tonight, we are playing every Monday night from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. GMT. Sea of Swords Forsaken can be found at twitch.tv/adventurouswanted or twitch.tv/D&D. We'll continue until the end of 2020 with this show in this time slot, and then there'll be something new for 2021, which I'll tell you all about when I know what it is. So yes, more to come, as always, from AW. We also stream other shows. We have a monthly D&D stream called Undergods, which is more homebrewy, and that one is on the first Tuesday of every month, again, from now until the end of 2020. Do check us out there. That's just at twitch.tv/adventurorswanted. There's also some exciting new content coming up that I can't wait to share more with you. Do check out our Twitter, that's Adventurers250, or Facebook, Instagram, all the rest for Adventurers Wanted. So do check out there what we've got coming up. You can also find all of our content archived at youtube.com/adventurorswanted if you want to catch up on previous shows. Corrupted was mentioned quite a few times. That's the show we just finished, so you can catch that one up there. Or there's plenty of other archive material of all of the many, many shows we have done. If you want to support us in a different way, we're on Patreon. You can patronize us and help us make more shows like we do here. So there are many different reward levels you can join in at that. So do help us there if you can. Every penny goes a very long way for us. So many thanks to all of our existing patrons already for their support. Huge thanks to our sponsors, Hero Forge, that's heroforge.com. And UltraPro, that's ultrapro.com. Couldn't do it without you. And a massive thank you again to our supporters D&D Beyond, Idle Champions of Forgotten Realms, Level Up Dice, and Zavi.com. You probably have another, let's see, 30 seconds to enter the Twitch chat to have a chance to win the delightful owlbear and say hello. And you probably have just about that much time as well to take your Idle Champions code if you want it. It's there next to Emma's Theth. Good. Thank you very much, everybody. That's it from us. See you next week.
Man.
Bye.
Bye.